Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Please hit that like button and subscribe.
This is the story of the first week, when nothing answered till God chose to speak. Day one, the darkness fell and listened deep. No sunrise to break it, no shadows to keep. Then God said light and the black pulled away. And night learned its limit, and so did the day. Day two, he lifted the sky like a dome. Waters below and the clouds as their home. Air filled the silence, the blue filled the view. He named it heaven, wide and new. Step by step, day by day, he built a world in a careful way. From empty silence to oceans and seed, every word answered a need. The first week, the first line of every heartbeat in space and time. Day three, the sea drew back from the sand. Dry ground rose like a promise from his hand. Grass, trees, and fruit in a sudden parade. Color and flavor when nothing was made. Day four, he hung markers in the sky. Sun for the day, moon for the night. Stars like quiet witnesses burn, watching the seasons circle and turn. Step by step, day by day, he built a world in a careful way. From empty silence to oceans and seed, every word answered a need. The first week, the first line of every heartbeat in space and time. Day five, the water learned to swarm and sing. Skills in the deep, feathers on the wing. He blessed the sea and the open air. Multiply, fill the world I've prepared. Day six, the land began to move. Hooves and paws in a steady groove. Then from the dust with deliberate care, he formed a human and breathed his air. He gave us a garden, a place to begin. Said, rule this gently, remember it's mine and yours within. Heaven and earth were finished and whole. Host upon host in their appointed roles. On the seventh day, he set work aside. Rest like a river flowing wide. Step by step, day by day, he built a world in a careful way. From his first whisper to Sabbath peace, every moment held in his release. The first week, the first line of every heartbeat in space and time. This is the story of the garden's birth, of dust becoming breath, of heaven meeting earth. After the heavens and the earth were done, the tale begins again beneath a gentler sun. No bush in the field, no rain on the land, just soil waiting for a shaping hand. A mist rose quiet from the ground below, soft as a whisper, steady as it flowed. Then God formed a man from the dust of the earth, fashioned his frame, gave his spirit birth. He breathed into his lungs, warm and deep, and the man opened eyes where there once was sleep. Life began simple, quiet and new, one heartbeat learning what a life can do. Dust and breath, garden and river, all of it given by the giver. Work of his hands, held in his sight, placed in a world made gentle and right. Dust and breath, purpose and peace, this is how human stories begin to release. God planted a garden eastward in Eden, a home wrapped in beauty, a place to believe in. Trees rose around him, pleasant, bright, and two stood special in the center light. One tree of life, roots deep and strong, one tree of knowledge of right and wrong. A river flowed out and split in four streams, crossing the world like unfolding dreams. God placed the man where the green life grew, said, tend this garden, it's entrusted to you. Eat from the trees, let the sweetness be yours, but one tree is forbidden, leave it untouched on its shores. For love must allow a choice to remain, a boundary drawn with purpose and pain. Dust and breath, garden and river, all of it given by the giver. Work of his hands, held in his sight, placed in a world made gentle and right. Dust and breath, purpose and peace, this is how human stories begin to release. Then God saw the truth, that man stood alone, no voice beside him, no flesh of his own. He shaped the beasts, the birds of the sky, brought them to Adam, one by one passing by. Names filled the garden, bright and new, yet none stood beside him as a partner true. So God laid him down in deep, deep rest, opened his side, and from his chest he crafted a woman with delicate care. Bone of his bone, breath of his air. The man awoke and saw her face, found his companion, his heart's first place. Two lives woven where the river bends, not strangers now but equal friends. They stood together unafraid, nothing between them, nothing betrayed. Dust and breath, garden and river, all of it given by the giver. Love in the bones, peace in the land, two lives joined by the maker's hand. Dust and breath, beginning and light, this is the story before the night. In Eden's quiet, where the soft winds roam, the first two hearts found their first home. This is the story of a quiet place shaken, of trust put to trial and innocence taken. In the garden's calm where the cool winds played, a serpent watched softly from under the shade. Crafted with cunning, patient and sly, he spoke to the woman with a questioning eye. Did God really say you must not eat from every tree with its branches sweet? A whisper twisted, a seed of doubt, a shadow where light had once poured out. The woman answered, steady and clear, we must not eat from that tree standing near. We must not touch it, or surely we'll die. But the serpent laughed with a subtle lie. You will not die, your eyes will awake. You'll be like God with the knowledge you take. Temptation lingered, heavy and warm, a storm inside her gentle form. A choice in the garden, quiet and deep, a moment too heavy for one heart to keep. A fruit in her fingers, a tremor of will, a boundary broken, a silence still. Oh, the cost of a single bite, turning the morning into night. She reached and took what was never hers, a fragile act that forever stirs. She gave to the man who stood by her side. He tasted the fruit and something died there. Eyes open wide to a world undone, shame like a shadow blocking the sun. They sowed fig leaves, trembling small, trying to cover the weight of the fall. Then they heard the sound of the Lord draw near, walking gently yet filled with fear. They hid from his presence among the trees. He called, where are you? In the cooling breeze. The man said, I heard you, and hid away, for I was naked and afraid today. The truth unraveled beneath his gaze, a broken trust in Eden's days. A choice in the garden, quiet and deep, a moment too heavy for one heart to keep. A fruit in her fingers, a tremor of will, a boundary broken, a silence still. Oh, the cost of a single bite, turning the morning into night. The Lord turned first to the serpent's pride. Cursed are you for the deceit you supplied. Crawl on your belly all of your days. Dust you'll eat in your winding ways. And enmity now shall forever remain between your seed and hers. One will crush your head, though you strike his heel with pain. To the woman he spoke of sorrow and strain, of childbirth touched with labor and pain. To the man he spoke of the stubborn ground, thorns and sweat in every pound. From dust you came, he said at the end, and back to that dust your feet will descend. Eden's peace now cracked and torn, a world remade with struggle born. Yet even in judgment, mercy stayed. Garments of skin the Lord God made, he clothed their shame with a tender hand. Love still reaching in a ruined land. A choice in the garden, quiet and deep, a promise left for the world to keep. A hope that one day a life edge of night. They walk from the garden, slow and warm, first on outside, where sorrow was born.
This is the story of two brothers born, of offerings lifted and a heart grown torn. Adam and Eve welcomed life again, a child named Cain, then Abel his kin. Two sons growing under open skies, two different hands, two different lives. Abel kept flocks where the soft winds lay, Cain worked the soil in the heat of day. Side by side yet worlds apart, carrying hope in a fragile heart. When the time was right, they brought their best, placed their offerings where the ground stood blessed. Abel brought firstborn pure and fine, Cain brought fruit from the field's rough line. The Lord looked kindly on Abel's vow, but Cain felt anger burning now, a jealousy rising sharp and cold, a storm inside he couldn't hold. Oh Cain, be careful, where does your heart lean? Sin is waiting, crouched and unseen. You must rule it, guide your hand, or it will pull you from the land. Two brothers standing under heaven's light, one in the shadow, one in the light. The Lord spoke gently to calm his rage. Why has your face become a cage? If you do right, won't you be raised? But if you refuse, sin's gaze is raised. It waits at the door with a hunger deep. You must rule it or it will keep. But Cain walked away with a darkened mind, his heart no longer warm or kind. He said to Abel, come walk with me out to the field where no one could see. There in the silence, anger won. Brother rose up against brother, and the deed was done. The ground drank sorrow, sharp and red, echoes crying where footsteps fled. Oh Cain, be careful, where did your heart lean? Sin was waiting, crouched and unseen. You could have ruled it, guided your hand, but now it's taking you from the land. Two brothers standing under heaven's light, one struck down, one lost from sight. The Lord called out, where is your brother? Cain replied, am I keeper of another? But God already knew what the earth had spoken, the voice of Abel rising broken. Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground where you thought you'd be free. Judgment fell with a heavy tone, the soil would resist where Cain had sown. A restless wanderer he would roam, far from the land he once called home. Yet even then mercy held its line, a mark of protection, a quiet sign. No hand would harm him on his way, though he carried sorrow day by day. Life continued through Adam's years, new sons born through hopes and tears. A child named Seth would rise one day, and people began to call and pray. Oh, hearts be watchful, careful and still, for anger can rise against gentle will. Two brothers, story written in pain, a warning carried through every name. Sin waits silent, but choice remains. Life or brokenness in our veins. This is the story of two brothers born, of love once bright and a heart torn. This is a story of the families grown, a river of names from a world once sown. This is the book of Adam's line, a record carved by the passing of time, when God made man in his likeness true. Male and female, he formed them two. He blessed their steps, he called their name. Humanity born from dust and flame. Adam lived long through years untold, saw sons and daughters rise from the fold. Seth came next in the image again, a child of promise for broken men. Line after line the story flows, through quiet lives the world still grows. And Nosh walked on under morning light, mortal breaths counting day and night. Cain and Mahalalel, Jared came, each life a flicker, each a life a flame. Generations like footsteps in the sand, carried onward by God's own hand. Names remembered though the days grow dim, every heartbeat returning to him. From Adam's dust to the hope ahead, a story living through the tears once shed. Then came Enoch, gentle and wise, a man who walked with God by his side. His years were fewer than those before, yet his closeness reached beyond the shore. And one day heaven opened near, Enoch was gone, no longer here. God took him home, the scroll now reads, a quiet mercy where the pathway leads. Methuselah followed with years so long, centuries counted like an ancient song. Lamech was born with a hope-filled word, comfort will come from the curse we've heard. A son he named Noah, resting place, a promise whispered, a future grace. Generations like footsteps in the sand, carried onward by God's own hand. Names remembered though their days grow dim, every heartbeat returning to him. From Adam's dust to the hope ahead, a story living through the tears once shed. Though each man walked the road to rest, their stories lived in those God blessed. Through rising sorrow and spreading strife, a thread of hope ran through each life. Generations like footsteps in the sand, leading forward toward God's plan. From Adam's breath to Noah's day, a line of grace lights the way. History carried in fragile hands, a people born from God's command. This is the story of the families grown, a river of names from a world once sown. This is the story of a world gone wrong, where shadows grew deep and the light felt gone. As people multiplied across the land, the world slipped further from God's own hand. Violence spread like a rising tide. Hearts grew callous, hollow inside. The sons of men chased what pleased their eyes, and justice faded beneath the skies. God looked upon earth's broken frame. Every thought twisted, every heart stained. The Lord said, my spirit will not strive forever. Human days will be shorter, frail as a weather. From giant pride to corrupted ways, evil marched through their numbered days. He saw the ruin, the cruelty done, a world unraveling beneath the sun. Grief filled his heart, sorrow ran deep, creation wounded too far to keep. But Noah stood righteous when the world went dark, a quiet light, a single spark, blameless and faithful in his walk with God, steady when others turned to fraud. When the earth was filled with violence and fear, Noah found grace and God drew near. God spoke to Noah with a heavy tone, the end of all flesh is coming soon. The earth is ruined by human hand. I will wash clean this broken land. Build an ark of gopher wood, layer it strong, make it good. 3 decks rise in rooms within, pitch it tight against the wind. Make it long and wide and tall, a refuge when the waters fall. I'll bring the flood upon the earth to cleanse the world and give new birth. But with you, Noah, I make my vow, a covenant here and now. Bring your family too, of every kind, to keep the thread of life alive. For Noah stood righteous when the world went dark, a quiet light, a single spark, blameless and faithful in his walk with God, steady when others turned to fraud. When the earth was filled with violence and fear, Noah found grace and God drew near. So Noah listened, heart bowed low, gathered wood in the evening glow, hammering faith through day and night, building hope plank by plank in sight. He did all God commanded him to do. Unfaithful man in a world untrue. When darkness swallowed the hearts of men, God looked for someone who walked with him again. And Noah rose with a steadfast soul, a keeper of life, a bearer of roll. In a world undone, he held the line, grace in motion by God's design. This is the story of a calling strong, one man chosen as the world went wrong. This is the story of rising rain, of doors shut tight in a world in pain. The Lord said to Noah, come into the ark, you and your family set apart. For I have seen you righteous and true in a world where wickedness wildly grew. Take 7 pairs of the clean and pure, 2 of the rest so life endures. For in 7 days the skies will break, and 40 nights the heavens shake. Noah obeyed as the Lord had shown, entered the ark when his strength had grown. At 600 years his journey began, rain clouds gathering across the land, creatures gathered slow and fast, pairs alive from first to last. They stepped inside by God's command. that God supplied. The fountains burst from under the ground, the firmament opened with a thunderous sound. Waters climb mountains once proud and tall, rising higher till they covered all. Every valley, every hill, silent now and deadly still. Life outside the ark grew thin, judgment poured where sin had been. For 40 long days the storm held tight, day turned to shadow, noon to night. The ark rose high on the tearing wave, a wooden cradle the Lord would save. All flesh that breathed on land was gone, a world undone from dusk to dawn. Only Noah and those within floated safe where hope had been. And the rain came down, heavy and strong, drowning the echoes of a world gone wrong. Waters rising, swallowing the sky as the deep broke open with a mournful cry. But Noah stood steady, sheltered inside, held by the promise that God supplied. For 150 days the waters rained, stretching far where mountains once remained. Yet God remembered Noah's plea, guarded the ark on the endless sea. And though the world lay silent and bare, God's watchful mercy lingered there. Through storm and shadow, wave and night, He held His promise through the fight. As judgment rolled across the land, grace still rested in Noah's hand. This is the story of rising rain, of doors shut tight, and a world in pain. This is the story of waters falling, of hope returning and God recalling. Then God remembered Noah on the endless sea, every creature sheltered in that trembling tree. A wind swept over the waters wide, the deep pulled back like an ebbing tide. Fountains closed and the skies withdrew, clouds grew thinner through the blue. Slowly the flood began to fade, a world revealing what judgment made. The ark came to rest on Ararat stone, high on a mountain, quiet and alone. As weeks passed by, peaks pierced the air, dry land rising where none had been there. After 40 more days in the waiting gloom, Noah opened a window in the upper room. A raven flew out into endless gray, searching for land but drifting away. But hope is a bird with a fragile wing, searching the world for return in spring. Though waters linger and skies stay dim, faith sends a dove to the edge of the rim. It circles the silence, seeking a home, a sign that the flood has ceased to roam. The dove came back with weary flight, no resting place for foot in sight. 7 more days, Noah let it fly. This time it returned with an olive reply. A single leaf, fresh and green, the first soft sign of a world made clean. 7 days later he sent it again, and the dove did not return to him then. Noah removed the cover and saw the ground, drying earth where life might be found. In the New Year's dawn, the waters were gone, yet Noah waited for God's own song. And the Lord spoke gently from heaven above, come out of the ark with the ones you love. Release
return in spring. And when the olive leaf touched his hand, no one knew life would fill the land. Those storms had swept the world away. Mercy opened a brighter day. Noah built an altar on the newfound ground, laid an offering where grace was found. The Lord smelled the promise in rising flame, and mercy stirred in his holy name. I will never again curse earth this way, though human hearts wander and often stray. While earth remains and seasons roll, seed time and harvest will strengthen the soul. Hope took wing on an olive leaf, life returning after grief. Storms may shatter, waters may rise, but mercy still watches through the skies. From flooded sorrow to promised light, God carried Noah through the night. This is the story of waters falling, of hope returning and God recalling.
This is the story after the storm, of covenant words and a promise born. God blessed Noah and his sons that day, spoke new beginnings in a world washed gray. Be fruitful now, fill the earth again, a fresh command for renewed men. The beasts of the field, the birds of the sky, the fish of the sea as they swim and fly, all placed gently in human care, a trembling peace between earth and air. Every moving thing will be food for you. As green plants once were, this now is true. But life is sacred in every form. Do not consume where blood is warm, for blood holds life in a holy place, a thread, a spirit, a sacred trace. And for each life taken by human hand, justice will rise and take its stand. And God said, I make my vow, a covenant binding here and now. Never again will the waters rise to drown the earth or darken the skies. Look to the heavens after the rain, my bow of mercy ends your pain. And then God stretched color across the clouds, a gentle arc where the storm once growled, red to violet in a whisper glow, a promise painted so all could know. This bow, he said, is the sign I give, a mark of mercy so life may live. When clouds gather and rains begin, I'll remember my covenant then. Noah's sons walked out into the land, carrying seed and work in their hand. From them rose nations far and wide, different tongues on each divide. Ham's youngest son, through shadow days, brought sorrow's mark in hidden ways. Yet Shem and Japheth stood blessed and strong, a father's covering where shame went wrong. And God said, I make my vow, a covenant binding here and now. Never again will the waters rise to drown the earth or darken the skies. Look to the heavens after the rain, my bow of mercy ends your pain. Though humans falter and kingdoms fall, God holds the promise above it all. A bow in the storm, a peace in the air, a sign that judgment won't end in despair. And God said, I make my vow, a covenant binding then and now. Grace remembered in radiant arc, light still rising after the dark. Look to the heavens, watch it shine, a promise kept for all of time. This is the story after the storm, of covenant words and a promise born. This is the story of family spread, of worlds unfolding from one homestead. These are the sons of Noah's line, after the flood and the cleansing sign. Shem, Ham, and Japheth stepped into light, 3 branches growing from one long night. From Japheth came coastlands far and wide, sailors and settlers by the rising tide. Nations born where the water's been, lines of people that never end. Ham's children rose in the southern lands, Cush and Egypt under burning sands. Cities forming where rivers run, generations shining beneath the sun. From Cush came Nimrod, a mighty name, a hunter bold with rising fame. He built great cities with stone and fire, kingdoms marked by human desire. From 3 brothers the world expands, carried by footsteps across the land. Names become nations, stories unfold, threads of humanity woven bold. Those scattered wide in distant stations, all are part of the table of nations. Canaan's children settled near the sea, 9 tribes strong in their territory. Sidon, Heth, and the clans that rose, drawing borders where the wind still blows. Their land stretched wide from coast to plain, from Sidon's height to Gaza's reign. Kingdoms grew where their tents once stood, branches reaching through field and wood. From Shem came nations of deeper tone, languages shaped by hearth and home. Elam, Ashur, Aram, and more, peoples dwelling from mountain to shore. Eber's line carried future weight, a quiet promise in the hands of fate. 2 sons were born to shape the years, Peleg's days marked by division's tears. From 3 brothers the world expands, carried by footsteps across the lands. Names become nations, stories unfold, threads of humanity woven bold. Those scattered wide in distant stations, all are part of the table of nations. From ark to earth, from few to many, every name matters, each worth a penny. A story spreading from east to west, humanity searching for home and rest. From 3 brothers the world expands, carried forward by God's hands. Though borders shift and ages turn, every people is His concern. A world of voices, countless relations, all arising from the table of nations. This is the story of family spread, of worlds unfolding from one homestead. This is the story of a people proud, of one great city and one loud crowd. The whole earth spoke with a single tongue, one shared language on every lung. As people traveled from eastern land, they found a plain wide as open hand. In the valley of Shinar they made their stand, gathered together to shape their plan. Let's mold these bricks, fire them strong. Let's build a place where we belong. They said, come, let's raise a city high, a tower reaching into the sky. Let's make a name that will never fall, or else we'll scatter beyond recall. Ambition rising like smoke in air, hearts unsteady with pride laid bare. Stone upon stone in defiant climb, a monument built to outlast time. But when people rise on pride alone, heaven hears a trembling tone. God descended to see their might, their tower clawing at morning light. What they built with a single voice, He scattered gently with sovereign choice. The Lord said nothing they plan is barred. With one voice gain, their hearts grow hard. Come, let us confound their speech, break the words they use to reach. Sudden confusion spread like fire, plans collapsing in tangled wire. Voices split into countless streams, what once was one split into extremes. The work abandoned, the tower stalled, pride undone as the builders sprawled. They left that place in scattered flight, each tribe turning towards separate light. They named it Babel, where tongues divide, where human plans met holy strife. Through this scattering nations grew, past diverging old and new. For when people rise on pride alone, heaven hears a trembling tone. God descended to see their might and turn their language into night. What they built with a single voice, He scattered gently with sovereign choice. From one land, many journeys start, different words, same longing heart. Though borders form and tongues divide, the Maker still watches, still walks beside. For when pride climbs high as a tower stone, grace still guides every wandering home. God set the nations across the land, each one held in His sovereign hand. What was scattered by holy design still finds purpose in His time. This is the story of a people proud, of a tower silenced and nations loud. This is the story of a voice that calls, of a quiet faith that steps through walls. The Lord said to Abram, rise and go, leave your country, all you know, your father's house, your native land. Walk to a place I will command. I'll make you a nation strong and tall, a blessing rising for one and all. I'll make your name shine through the years, and those who bless you I'll hold near. So Abram moved as the Lord had spoken. A journey started, a past left broken. With Sarai beside him, Lot in line, they traveled to Canaan beneath the pine. He passed through Shechem, the ancient ground, where whispers of promise still resound. The Lord appeared, His message clear to your offspring. I'll give this fear. And faith begins with a single stride, a trembling trust where fears collide. One quiet yes to a call unknown, a man uprooted to seeds not sown. Where God points forward, the heart must follow, through fear and famine, deep and hollow. Abram built altars along the way, marks of devotion in sunlit clay. From mountain ridge to desert's rim, every stone was a hymn to Him. But famine struck right, gentle and fair. Tell them your sister, ease my fear. Your beauty may cost me my very breath, but with this word we escape death. Pharaoh received her into his hall, blessed Abram's hands with gifts and all. But trouble rose in the royal room, plagues from heaven, warning of doom. And faith begins with a single stride, but even the faithful sometimes slide. Fear can tremble where trust should stand, even the brave lose solid land. Yet God defends with a loving hand, turning wanderers back to his plan. A Pharaoh called Abram with trembling tone, why hide the truth that was yours alone? Take her back, leave my land, be free. Your God has spoken harshly to me. So Abram rose in the dawning light, left Egypt's gates and its troubled night, back to the land where the promise lay, back to the altars of yesterday. For faith is a path both fragile and bright, a journey walked through shadow and light. From the first go to the last amen, God keeps guiding the hearts of men. The call of Abram still echoes clear, step out trusting, leave your fear. This is the story of a voice that calls, and a pilgrim heart that answers and falls. This is the story of fields too small, of rising tension and a peaceful call. Abram returned from Egypt's sand with flocks and wealth across the land. Lot came too with herds untold, fields of silver, tents of gold. But the land could not their burdens bear, too many animals, too much care. Strife rose up between their men, a quiet warning, again and again. The Canaanites watched from the hills around, the Perizzites walked their ancient ground. Tension deepened where brothers stood, a bond of familyless understood. So Abram spoke with a gentle plea, words shaped soft like a calming sea. Let there be peace between me and you, between our herdsmen let kindness rule. For sometimes love means letting go, giving the choice in the open road. Peace is worth more than fertile land, worth more than flocks or a kingdom stand. Two men standing where the valley's wide, one must stay and one divide. He said, choose first where you turn your eyes. If you take the left, I'll take the right. If you walk the right, I'll walk the left. Let no bitterness rise or theft. Lot lifted his gaze to the Jordan plain, green as Eden before the rain. A valley watered like the Lord's own grove, stretching to Zor in endless rove. So Lot chose the valley bright and wide, pitched his tent on the Jordan side, near Sodom's walls where shadows ran, where wickedness grew in the hearts of men. Abram remained in the land above, still wrapped in promise and quiet love. And after Lot's footsteps faded away, God spoke softly into Abram's day. For sometimes love means letting go, giving the choice in the open road. Peace is worth more than the richest ground, more than the treasures men have found. When we loosen what we hold too tight, God can lead us into deeper light. Lift your eyes, the Lord now said, Look north and south from where you tread. Look east and west across the span. All this land I give to you, Abram. Your offspring countless as dust in line. Walk in the borders I've defined. Rise, walk through it end to end. This land I give, this vow I send. So Abram moved by faith alone, set up an altar on Mamre stone. Worship rose through the twilight air, a quiet trust, a pilgrim's prayer. For sometimes peace begins with release, a heart choosing mercy, a harvest of peace. Where the land divides, God's promise stays, guiding his servant through open ways. From valley green to Canaan's height, he leads by faith, not human sight. This is the story of fields too small and a gentle wisdom that ended it all.
This is the story of kings at war, of midnight battle and blessings door. In the days when 4 great kings arose, they marched through lands where the desert blows. Chedorlaomer led them all, strong in power, fierce and tall. 5 kings rebelled in the valley plain, where asphalt pits dotted the terrain. The battle broke with a thunderous cry, armies scattered beneath the sky. Sodom's forces fled in fear, falling into the tar pits near. The victors seized their goods and grain, took all the wealth the town could claim. Lot was taken in the sweeping tide, Abram's nephew carried far and wide. A survivor ran to Mamre's oak, where Abram heard what danger spoke. When the world falls into shadow night, a faithful heart still rises to fight. Abram gathered his servants strong, 300 men moving swift and long, against the darkness, against the dread. He chased the captors till courage led. He caught them north in a quiet land, divided his forces by practiced hand. At night he struck with sudden might, the enemy scattered in startled flight. From Dan to Hobah the chase ran thin, till Abram brought his people in. Lot was freed and the goods restored, victory carved by the trusting Lord. Returning south through the evening glow, 2 kings approached him down below. The king of Sodom, weary and worn, and Salem's king in peace was born. Melchizedek, priest of God Most High, brought bread and wine beneath the sky. He blessed Abram with a gentle word, acknowledging the strength of the Lord. For when the battle seems ours alone, heaven reminds us who sits on the throne. Blessed be Abram, Melchizedek said, by God Most High, whose hand has led. Blessed be the one who delivered your foes, the one from whom all mercy flows. Abram gave him a tithe that night, a humble act in the fading light. But the king of Sodom offered reward, goods and treasures he could afford. Abram refused with a lifted hand, I'll take nothing from your land. I swore to God, the Most High One, that none would say I made Abram strong. For victory comes from God alone, through humble hearts his strength is shown. Rescue, blessing, covenant ties, hope restored beneath starlit skies. From war's harsh cry to pieces, and God stood faithful, guide and friend. This is the story of kings at war, of a brave rescue and a blessing's door.
This is the story of a fearful night, of a whispered promise and a sky of light. The word of the Lord came quiet and near. Abram, don't tremble, do not fear. I am your shield, your great reward. Your life is held within my sword. But Abram spoke with a weary sigh. Lord, what blessing can I identify? I walk without child, without a son. My line ends when my days are done. He said, a servant stands to take my place, nowhere to rise from my own grace. But God replied, this will not be. Your child will come from your own seed. Look now upward into the night, count the stars in their shining height. So shall your offspring one day be, countless as waves upon the sea. And Abram believed beneath the sky, trusting the voice he could not deny. God marked that faith as righteousness, a quiet gift in the wilderness. In starlit promise, hope was born, a dawn arising before the morn. The Lord said, I brought you here from Er's old land to a place more clear. This is the ground I'll give to you, a home made strong, a vow made true. But Abram asked, how will I know? How can a mortal be certain so? So God prepared a sacred sign, a covenant drawn in blood and line, animals laid in solemn rows, a path between where the promise flows. Abram fell into a heavy sleep, a dreadful darkness sinking deep. The Lord spoke truth of years ahead, of bondage, sorrow, hope not dead. Your children's children will serve afar, but I will bring them where promises are. And Abram believed beneath the sky, even when visions made him cry. For God who speaks will not deceive. Blessed is the heart that dares believe in covenant fire and starlit air. The future waited, shaped with care. Then a smoking fire pot, a blazing flame, passed between the pieces laid in Abram's name. God sealed his promise with holy fire, a land of people, a long desire. From border river to distant sea, he marked the land of destiny. And Abram stood beneath the stars, held by promise, healed of scars. Faith was counted, night made bright, hope set burning in endless light. For God remembered and God swore true, a covenant written for me and you. This is the story of a fearful night and a promise shining in eternal light.
This is the story of longing hearts, of choices heavy and a world pulled apart. Sarai waited through silent years, hopes worn thin by unanswered tears. She said to Abram, the Lord's restrained my womb from life we've longed to gain. Take Hagar, my servant, into your care. Perhaps through her the child will bear. Abram agreed, his sorrow pressed, a human plan in faith's unrest. Hagar conceived and her eyes grew proud. Sarai felt small beneath the cloud. Tension burned where trust once stood, jealousy rising in place of good. Sarai cried out, this wrong is mine. Let God judge between your heart and mine. Abram answered, tired and torn, she's in your hand, do as you've sworn. When the heart feels lost, when hope runs dry, when choices tremble beneath the sky, there is a God who hears our plea. There is a God who sees. In the wilderness where the broken flee, his mercy still finds you and me. Sarai dealt harshly, Hagar fled. Desert wind swirling around her head. By a lonely spring she sank to the ground, too tired to speak, no strength to be found. Then the angel of the Lord drew near, a voice of comfort in her fear. Hagar, servant of Sarai, where do you go? Where have you come from? Tell me so. She said, I flee from Sarai's hand, lost and trembling on barren sand. The angel spoke with a gentle word, a future promise safely stirred. Return and yield beneath her care. Your son will rise, strong and rare. I'll multiply your offspring wide, too many to number, too vast to hide. When the heart feels lost, when hope runs dry, when choices tremble beneath the sky, there is a God who hears our plea. There is a God who sees. In the wilderness where the broken flee, his mercy still finds you and me. You'll bear a son, Ishmael his name, for God has heard your sorrowed flame. A wild man free with a restless stride, his hand with many yet strength beside. Hagar lifted her tear-stained eyes, found comfort written across the sky. She whispered softly in the desert heat, you are the God who sees me meet. A well was named for the Holy One who watches all beneath the sun. Even the lost in the desert night are held within his endless sight. When the heart feels lost, when hope runs dry, when burdens break and spirits cry, there is a God who hears our plea. There is a God who sees. From Abram's tents to the desert wide, his mercy walks on every side. This is the story of longing hearts and the God who sees the broken parts.
This is the story of a name renewed, of ancient vows and a promise pursued. When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared with a word bold. Walk before me faithful and true. I will make my covenant with you. A father of nations you shall be, multitude rising from your seed. Kings will come from the line you bear, blessings stretching everywhere. Abram fell face down to the ground, holy fear and wonder bound. God said your name will change this day, no longer Abram in the ancient way. Abraham now for nations rise, from the promise written in my skies. This covenant stands through all your kin, generation after generation within. For an everlasting promise flows through barren deserts and fears that grow, a vow unbroken by time or land, held forever in God's own hand. From dust to stars His word will be a light for every family. As for Sarai, the Lord declared, her name is Sarah, chosen, spared. I'll bless her womb and open her years. She'll bear a son despite her fears. Through Isaac born, your line will stand, a covenant bound in my command. Kings and nations will rise from her, a mother of many, my promise sure. Abraham laughed in the quiet heat, 100 years old, his hope incomplete. Can this be true? His heart cried out, yet faith fought through the edge of doubt. Oh, that Ishmael might live in your grace. But God spoke gently in that place. He will be blessed, strong and grand, 12 rulers rising from his hand. But my covenant rests on Isaac's life, born next year from your aged wife. For an everlasting promise flows through barren deserts and fears that grow, a vow unbroken by time or land, held forever in God's own hand. From dust to stars His word will be a light for every family. Then God gave Abraham this sign, circumcision marking every line, a seal of trust carved into skin, binding the hearts of his future kin. Every male in his house that day received the sign without delay. Ishmael too, though young and strong, entered the covenant's lifelong song. In the heat of obedience, faith took shape, hope broke free where doubt had draped. From new made names to promised birth, God wrote redemption across the earth. For an everlasting promise flows through ancient footsteps and winds that blow, a vow that time can't tear apart, written by God on the human heart. From desert tents to the world we see, this covenant echoes eternally. This is the story of a name renewed, a promise kept, a hope pursued. This is the story of strangers near, of whispered news and a promise clear. By the oaks of Mamre in the heat of day, Abraham sat where the shadows lay. He lifted his eyes and suddenly saw 3 men standing with quiet awe. He hurried toward them with humble grace, bowed to the ground in that sacred place. My lords, don't pass your servant by.
rest and refresh while the winds are dry. He brought cool water for dusty feet, asked Sarah to knead the finest wheat. A tender calf was prepared with care, bread and curd set gently there. Under the tree he served the meal, watching in reverence, heart made real. The stranger spoke with knowing tone, "Where is Sarah, your wife, at home?" And the promise comes in the quiet hour, a seed of hope with unseen power. When human strength has reached its end, God speaks life where doubts descend. A barren womb, a future bright, nothing hidden from His sight. I will return when the season's due, and Sarah will bear a son to you. The words rang deep in the silent tent, where Sarah listened, her spirit bent. She laughed softly, old and worn, a heart too fragile for hope reborn. After all these years and my body frail, can joy like this still prevail? But the Lord said, "Why does she laugh? Does age divide my promised path? Is anything too hard for me? At the set time this child will be." Sarah denied with trembling fear, but God saw truth both sharp and clear. Yet even through doubt His mercy stayed, a future child already laid. For the promise comes in the quiet hour, a seed of hope with unseen power. When human strength has reached its end, God speaks life where doubts descend. A barren womb, a future bright, nothing hidden from His sight. The men rose up and looked toward Sodom's plain. Abraham walked with them through golden grain. The Lord said, "Shall I hide from Him what justice calls from valley dim? For He will teach through every line the way of right by my design." So God revealed the city's sin, a cry so heavy it reached to Him. Abraham stood between heaven and wrong, a single man pleading long. "Will you sweep away the righteous few?" he asked with courage born anew. For 50, 40, even 10, he begged for mercy again and again. A friend of God with a burden plea, wrestling for lives across the sea. For the promise comes in the quiet hour, and mercy rises with holy power. From barren laughter to interceding cries, God still listens, God still replies. Hope in the tent, justice in the air, a story shaped by love and prayer. This is the story of strangers near, of promised joy and mercy clear. This is the story of a night undone, of judgment fallen and mercy run. Two angels came to Sodom's gate, where Lot sat watching the evening late. He bowed before them with urgent grace, begged them to lodge in His humble place. They first refused, said, "We'll stay outside," but Lot insisted they come inside. He baked them bread in the fading light, a quiet kindness before the night. Wicked men surrounded the door, voices rock and roar. Bring them out so we may know a demand made cruel in the fire's glow. Lot stepped out with trembling breath, blocking their path in the face of death. Do not do evil to these who came. My home is theirs, not yours to claim. In the city where the shadows fall, mercy stands though the wicked call. A righteous heart in a broken land, holding the line with trembling hand. Judgment nears with a burning cry, yet grace still whispers, run and fly. The angels reached and pulled light in, struck the crowd with blinding spin. They said, have you others, bring them fast. This city's ruin comes at last. The outcry reached the Lord above, and judgment falls where there's no love. Light warned his sons-in-law that night, but they mocked his words as foolish fright. When morning broke with a dread so near, the angel spoke with urgent fear. Take your wife, your daughters too, escape or the judgment falls on you. Yet Lot still lingered, frozen, torn. So mercy seized him by arm and form. They led him out beyond the wall, where heaven's fire was soon to fall. To the mountains, don't look back. Destruction rises on Sodom's track, but Lot cried out, the hills are far. Let me escape to the small town near. The angels granted his fearful plea. Run quickly, then be safe and free. Just as he entered Zor's place, the sky grew dark in a fiery blaze. Then sulfur rains from the Lord above, a storm of justice void of love. Cities shattered in burning breath, every valley consumed by death. Lot's wife turned back with longing eyes, a pillar of salt where her sorrow lies. Judgment sealed in a single glance, a heart too tethered to circumspect. Lot left Zor for the mountain high, his daughters with him beneath the sky. In fear they dwelt in a cave alone, a broken family far from home. From desperate choices born of pain, 2 lines of people rose again. In the city where the shadows fell, mercy ran where judgment dwelt. A single household spared the flame, carried out by God's own name. Though ashes mark the plains below, grace still found the way to show. This is the story of a night undone, of judgment falling and mercy run. This is a story of fear and grace, of truth revealed in a foreign place. Abraham journeyed from Mamre's side, stayed in Gerar where the plains were wide. He said of Sarah, she is my kin, hiding the truth deep within. Abimelech, king of the southern land, took Sarah in with an open hand. But God stepped in before the night, a dream of warning fierce and bright. Behold, you're a dead man, the Lord declared, For the woman you've taken is Abraham's pair. Abimelech trembled, heart undone. Lord, would you slay the innocent one? He said she was sister, her words agreed. I acted pure in thought and deed. God answered him, yes, I know your way. I kept you from sinning that very day. For even when truth hides in fear, God still watches, God draws near. He guards the innocent, guides the blind, shields the heart with a hand divine. In the quiet hours where secrets wake, grace steps in for mercy's sake. Return the woman, the Lord proclaimed. Her husband's a prophet, through him you're reclaimed. He'll pray for you and your house restored, or judgment falls from my righteous sword. At dawn the king called every man. Fear spread quickly through the clan. He said to Abraham, what have you done? Why bring guilt beneath my son? What wrong have I caused that you lied this way, drawing my nation into dismay? Abraham answered with humbled breath, I feared this land would bring me death. I thought you'd kill me for Sarah's sake. This was the choice I dared to make. Yet even through failure, God's grace stood, turning danger toward the good. For even when truth hides in fear, God still watches, God draws near. He covers faults, He guards the frail. His mercy's stronger than hearts that fail. In the courts of kings and foreign lands, He holds our lives in steady hands. Abimelech gave sheep and servants too, restoring Sarah with gifts anew. Here is land for you to dwell. A peace between them softly fell. God healed the house of Abimelech's clan, opened the wombs by His command. For Sarah's honor had been sealed by God's own hand. Her name was shielded. In distant places where danger lies, God still answers His children's cries. A dream, a warning, a vow restored, grace unfolding from the Lord. For even when truth hides in fear, God still watches, God draws near. He weaves protection through every thread. He guards the living, chastens the dread. In the quiet night, in the breaking day, He turns our missteps into His way. This is the story of fear and grace, of mercy meeting us in a foreign place. This is the story of laughter born, of promises kept in a brighter morn. The Lord remembered the vow He made,
and Sarah's waiting was finally repaid. In her old age, in a quiet dawn, she held the miracle of a son. Abraham rejoiced at the newborn cry, a promise fulfilled beneath the sky. They named him Isaac, joy released, a living echo of heaven's feast. Sarah laughed as she held him near, a laugh of wonder, not of fear. Whoever thought I'd nurse a child, God has made my joy so wild. Isaac grew and the day came soon to mark his weaning with feast and tune. But Ishmael's mocking cast a shade, a breach in pieces taunting me. For God brings promise in his time, a melody set in perfect rhyme. Yet even joy can stir a tear when futures shift and lines appear. Still his hand guides every heart, setting each story worlds apart. Sarah said this boy must go. The slave woman's son should not overthrow. Her words were sharp, her wounds still deep. Old jealousy she could not keep. Thing distressed Abraham's soul, a father's heart with no control. But God spoke softly, easing his pain. Do as she asks, you are not to blame. Through Isaac your line will stand secure, but Ishmael too will endure. A nation will rise from him as well. My blessing reaches where hearts dwell. So Abraham rose in morning's light, placed bread and water for their flight. Hagar wandered in Beersheba's heat until the drought brought her to defeat. For God brings promise in his time, but he also hears the mourner's rhyme. No cry is lost, no tear unseen. His mercy moves where hope grows thin, in barren sand or shaded tent. His comfort finds the desolate. She set her son beneath a tree, too weak to stand, too tired to flee. I cannot watch him die, she cried, as desert wind around them sighed. But heaven heard the desperate tear. An angel called, what troubles you here? Fear not, Hagar, lift your eyes. God has heard your child's cries. A well appeared in the desert land, water rising by God's hand. She filled the skin and gave him drink, life restored at mercy's brink. Ishmael grew beneath God's care, a bowman strong in the desert air. His mother found a wife for him, a future carved where hope seemed dim. From joy to sorrow, from peace to fear, God writes compassion year by year. Through every rising, every fall, his promises hold unbreakable. For God brings promise in his time, both child of laughter and wandering line. He guards the weak, he lifts the strong, he rights the wounded, rights the wrong. From tents of joy to desert cries, he keeps his word beneath all skies. This is the story of laughter born, and mercy carried through desert morn. This is the story of a trembling climb, a faith refined in a moment of time. After the years of promise kept, when Isaac laughed and Abraham wept, God spoke again with a voice so clear. Abraham, here I am, Lord, I hear. Take your son, your only one, the child you love, your promised son. Go to Moriah's mountain high, offer him there as a sacrifice. Early he rose in the morning light, a heart in battle with silent fright. He split the wood and packed the flame, and knowing nothing would be the same, Isaac walked with the gentle tread of innocence, by his father led. 3 days long the journey spread, till the mountain stood with a rising dread. On the mountain where shadows fall, faith is tested hard and all. Steps grow heavy, hope grows thin, yet trust must rise from deep within. For in the climb where fear has trod, Abraham walks alone with God. He told the servants, stay behind, the boy and I will climb and find a place to worship the Lord today. We will return, was all he'd say. Isaac carried the wood he bore, his father held the knife and more. Father, he said, here's fire and wood, but where's the lamb for the offering good? Abraham answered through trembling breath, God will provide, he said in faith. They reached the top and built the frame, stacked the stones and set the flame. He bound his son with shaking hands, a test no heart could understand. He raised the knife above the child, a moment frozen, fierce and wild. On the mountain where shadows fall, faith is tested hard and all. A father's cry held tight and thin, yet trust rose up from deep within. For in the breaking of human will, God's greater purpose stood still. Abraham, Abraham, the angel cried as breath returned to both whose side. Do not harm the boy, your faith is shown. You have not withheld your own. Then Abraham lifted his weary eyes, a ram caught fast in thorny ties. God had provided the sacrifice, a picture painted of love's great price. He named the place the Lord will provide, where mercy and obedience coincide. The angel spoke with a mighty word, a blessing sealed, a future stirred. Your seed will shine like the stars above. Through your line the nations I'll love. Your offspring will possess the gate of every foe, of every fate. On the mountain where shadows fade, God revealed what love is made. A ram in place, a promise sworn, hope reborn on that fearful morn. For in the place where hearts are tried, we learn the Lord himself provides. This is the story of a trembling climb, and the God who provides in his perfect time. This is the story of a love long kept, of a silent field where a patriarch wept. Sarah's ears were a tapestry worn, 127 from night to morn. In Hebron's land, a
breath grew still, a tender life fulfilled by will. Abraham rose in his grief so deep, bent over Sarah in final sleep. He mourned and wept with trembling hands, love held softly in foreign lands. He stood before the Hittite men, a stranger living among them then. He said, grant me a burial place, a resting ground, a quiet space. Let me lay my Sarah down, honored here in your ancient town. Sell me a field I may secure, a place of peace that will endure. In sorrow's shadow, in grief's dim light, love still seeks what's just and right. A field of tears, a cave of stone, where the heart releases what it's known. Though breath is gone and eyes grow dim, a resting place remembers them. The Hittites answered with gentle tone, among our graves choose any stone. No one will hold you from the land, bury your dead by your own hand. But Abraham bowed, refusing these, seeking honor in each decree. Spoke to Ephraim at the city's gate, the field of Machpelah, his chosen fate. I'll buy the field and the cave within, let this be sealed where life has been. Ephron offered, the land is yours, but Abraham pressed through open doors. 400 shekels of silver sealed a rightful claim to the ancient field. Witnesses stood as the payment passed, a covenant carved to forever last. In sorrow's shadow, in grief's dim light, love still seeks what's just and right. A field of tears, a cave of stone, where the heart releases what it's known. Though breath is gone and eyes grow dim, a resting place remembers them. There in the cave of the double room, he laid his wife in tender gloom, the first of many to sleep in peace, waiting for dawn when shadows cease. In sorrow's shadow and sacred ground, faith is measured, love is found. A field he purchased with tear-filled eyes would one day cradle family ties through death's stillness and desert years. God holds every field of tears. This is the story of a love long kept, and the quiet cave where a patriarch wept. This is the story of a servant's road, of prayers unanswered until they flowed. Abraham aged with his promise near, Isaac groaned through joy and fear. He called his servant faithful and true, said, swear an oath in all you do. Do not take a wife from the Canaanite land, but go to my kin by God's command. Find a bride for my promised son, a future rising when this is done. The servant bowed beneath the vow, prepared the camels and set out now. With gifts and hope he crossed the sand toward Nahor's home in a distant land. At evening's time by the water's side, he prayed to the God who would provide. Let the woman who offers drink to me, and my camels too, let that one be. God guides hearts along hidden ways. He hears the quietest of our days, a whispered prayer in the desert air, a journey answered with tender care. Where hope is fragile and steps are wide, His mercy travels by our side. Before the prayer had even ceased, Rebecca came with grace released. Pitcher in hand, her steps were light, her kindness shining in fading light. She offered him water from her jar, then for the camels near and far, the servant watched with beating heart, knowing the Lord had played His part. He placed gold bracelets on her arm, a nose ring fine with subtle charm. Whose daughter are you? Tell me please, is there room to rest beneath your eaves? She spoke, I am Bethuel's child, granddaughter to nurse, spirit mild. There's room for you and your beast to stay, and bow to God in thankful sway. For God guides hearts along hidden ways. He hears the quietest of our days, a whispered prayer in the desert air, a journey answered with tender care. Where hope is fragile and steps are wide, His mercy travels by our side. At her home, the servant told the tale of God's provision without fail. How Abraham's God led step by step, how every promise He surely kept. Rebecca's kin saw the truth unfold, agreed to send her as foretold. Her mother blessed her with trembling voice, be thousands strong in hope rejoice. Rebecca rose with courage clear, camels swaying as they drew near. Isaac walked in the evening breeze, meditating beneath the trees. She lifted her eyes and saw him stand, grace like sunlight across the land. And he saw her, a gift of God, two stories crossing the same odd side. She veiled her face in gentle pride. Isaac welcomed his promised bride. He loved her deeply from the start, and she comforted his grieving heart. For God guides hearts along hidden ways. He weaves our paths through nights and days, a servant's prayer, a daughter's stride, a covenant sealed on the desert side. When love seems distant and hope undone, He writes the answer beneath the sun. This is the story of a servant's road, and the bride found where God bestowed.
This is the story of endings and birth, of lives departing and nations' worth. Abraham took catch her as years flowed on. Sons were born, though his strength seemed gone. Zinran and Goshen, Midian and Midian, Ishbak and Shua, each a new begin. He gave them gifts and sent them away, for Isaac alone would inherit one day. Then Abraham died at a ripe old site, gathered to fathers in peaceful night.
Isaac and Ishmael laid him down in Machpelah's cave in Abram's ground, a legacy sealed in a field of stone, a patriarch's rest, a life full grown. Ishmael's son spread across the sands, princes rising in desert lands, 12 strong leaders with wandering pace, each with a tribe, each with a place.
For life moves forward
inside the womb, where footsteps scatter across the earth. He writes his purpose in every birth.
Isaac prayed when Rebekah cried, her womb yet silent, the years gone by. The Lord heard Isaac and opened her way, 2 sons stirring in hidden play. But the children struggled deep within, a battle rising where life begins. She sought the Lord and he replied, revealing truths she could not hide.
2 nations grow inside your womb,
2 people rising from shared room.
one will be stronger, the other beneath.
The elder will serve the one beneath. When the day came, the firstborn arrived, red and rough, with a wilderness strive. Esau they named him, bold and wild, a hunter's fire in a newborn child.
For life moves forward through joy and grief, through wells of sorrow and years to breathe. From womb to desert, from tent to room, God shapes nations inside the womb, where footsteps scatter across the earth. He writes his purpose in every birth.
Then Jacob came with a quiet hold, hand on his brother strong and bold. A smooth-skinned child with a watchful eye, 2 rival spirits beneath the sky. Esau loved fields and the chase of game, Jacob preferred the steady flame. 2 boys growing with paths apart, 2 destinies forming in one heart.
One day Esau, weary and worn, came from the hunt, both faint and torn. Jacob stirred stew with a knowing glance, saw an opening in circumstance. Give me your birthright for this bowl. He bargained low for Esau's soul. Esau agreed in hunger's sway, a traded future for a passing day.
Thus the older bowed to the younger's claim, a prophecy spark in a fragile flame. The choices made in ordinary strife echo down through tribal life.
For life moves forward through joy and grief, through fragile moments and disbelief. From tents of brothers to nations grown, God shapes stories by paths unknown. In womb, in promise, and traded right, He guides the thread through day and night.
This is the story of endings and birth,
Of brothers shaping the future's worth.
This is the story of famine and fear, of wells reopened and God drawing near. A famine rose across the land, dry wind sweeping the desert sand. Isaac traveled to Gerar's plain, where Abimelech ruled and fear did reign. The Lord appeared with a steady voice, said, do not go to Egypt by choice. Stay in this land, I'll be with you. My oath to Abraham still holds true. I'll bless your seed like the stars above. Nations will rise by my hand of love. All these lands I will give your line, for Abraham's faith was true to mine. So Isaac stayed, though fear grew strong, and the days ahead felt harsh and long. He said of Rebekah, she is my kin, hiding the truth deep within. For faith walks forward through shadow days, trusting God in uncertain ways. Where fear speaks loud and danger swells, His promise holds, His presence dwells. In famine's heat or foreign ground, the wells of promise still resound. Abimelech saw them one quiet dawn, Isaac with Rebekah gazing on. He said, "She's your wife, why did you say she was your sister to lead astray?" Isaac answered with humbled breath, "I feared I'd lose my life in death." Yet God protected him in that place, covered his weakness with hidden grace. Isaac sowed seed in the barren field, 100-fold was the harvest yield. He grew in wealth till envy came, the Philistines stopped his wells by name. Abimelech said, "Go leave our sight, you're too mighty in your right." So Isaac wandered, moved again, following paths once walked by men. For faith walks forward through shadow days, trusting God in uncertain ways. Where fear speaks loud in danger swell, his promise holds, his presence dwells. In famine's heat or foreign ground, the wells of promise still resound. He reopened wells his father made, clearing the earth where memories lay. But shepherds quarreled over each, claiming the water beyond his reach. He named one Etzek, the well of strife, another Sitnah, contention rife. So Isaac moved, refusing fight, seeking peace instead of might. At Rehoboth he dug once more, and no one argued at that door. Now God has made a place for me, a room to grow, a space to be. That night the Lord appeared again, strengthening the heart of his servant man. "Fear not, Isaac, I'm with you still. My oath to Abraham I will fulfill." Isaac built an altar there, called on the God who meets in prayer. His servants dug and struck fresh spring, a sign of favor from heaven's king. Even Abimelech came with peace, sought a covenant that strife would cease. For faith walks forward through shadow days, trusting God in unfolding ways. Where wells run dry and borders shift, his presence gives a quiet lift. Through every conflict, every ground, the wells of promise still abound. This is the story of famine and fear, and the God who stays, who draws us near.
This is the story of a fragile choice, of trembling hands and a stolen voice. Isaac grew old and his eyes grew dim. Years weighed heavy upon the man within. He called for Esau, his oldest son. "Bring me game when the hunt is done. Prepare me a meal the way I love, that I may bless you before God above." Esau agreed and set out fast, not knowing the shadow that soon would pass. Rebekah listened from the nearby tent, heard Isaac's words and the path they meant. She called for Jacob, quiet and sure, her favorite child, gentle and pure. "Bring me 2 goats from the flock today. I'll make the meal the exact same way. You'll take it in before he knows, receive the blessing before he goes. For the voice is fragile, the blessing deep, a promise carried where secrets sleep. When truth is twisted for fear's design, hearts break across the family line. Yet even through failure's tangled thread, God still weaves what lies ahead.
My skin is smooth, my brother's is white. If father touches me in disguise, he'll think I mock him, curse will rise. But Rebecca said, let the blame be mine. Her heart set firm on the hidden design. She dressed him in Esau's outdoor wear, placed goatskin fur on his arms with care. He brought the food with a quiet tone. Here, my father, your meal is done. Isaac asked, how so quickly, my son? Jacob replied, the Lord made it run. Isaac paused, unsure of the voice, but ate the meal and made his choice. He blessed him deep with the trembling hand. May nations serve you across the land. For the voice is fragile, the blessing deep, a promise carried where secrets sleep. When truth is twisted for fear's design, hearts break across the family line. Yet even through failure's tangled thread, God still weaves what lies ahead. Later Esau returned, his spirit eager, his heart unburned. Father, arise and eat your game. But Isaac trembled at the name. Who was it then who came before? I blessed him fully forevermore. Esau cried out with anguish torn, a soul in thunder, grief reborn. Bless me too, oh Father, please. His voice like wind in shattered trees. But Isaac said, your brother came, took your birthright, sealed your name. Esau vowed in burning breath. When father dies, Jacob meets death. Rebecca heard and urged her son, flee to Haran till anger's done. A blessing gained, a family split, a truth fractured where fear was lit. Yet through the sorrow and broken vow, God shaped Jacob even now. For the voice is fragile, the blessing deep, a promise carried through tears we keep. Though choices falter and love divides, grace still moves through the shifting tides. Through fear, deception, loss and flight, God guides the story toward his light. Ooh. This is the story of a fragile choice, of trembling hands and a stolen voice.
This is the story of a fleeing son, of fear-worn steps and a vision begun. Isaac called Jacob with trembling care, bless him again with a father's prayer. Do not take a wife from Canaan's land. Go to your kin as the Lord has planned. May God Almighty bless your line, make you fruitful in His time. The birthright now rests upon your frame. Carry the promise in Abraham's name. So Jacob left with a lonely stride, Esau's anger burning wide. He journeyed north through the barren wild, a wandering heart, a fearful child. At sunset he stopped with stones for bed. A cold night sky stretched overhead. No home, no comfort, no friend in sight, just whispered prayers in the falling light. But heaven opened in that place, touching earth with gentle grace. For God speaks loud in the quiet night, when hearts grow weary from loss and flight. Where fear surrounds and shadows swell, He builds a stairway from heaven to hell. When dreams run deep and hope grows dim, the Lord draws near and speaks to him. He dreamed of a ladder reaching high, set on earth but touching sky. Angels moved in a shining stream, ascending, descending in holy gleam. Then the Lord stood above the span, spoke his promise to this wandering man. I am the God of your father's land. The land you rest on will be mine to thine. Your offspring will spread like dust on ground, north, south, east, and westward bound. All nations will be blessed through you. My covenant stands forever true. I am with you wherever you go. I'll bring you back, this you must know. I will not leave you, not forsake, until my promise fully awaits. Jacob stirred as dawn drew near, heart struck deep with trembling fear. For God speaks loud in the quiet night, when hearts grow weary from loss and flight, where fear surrounds and shadows swell. He builds a stairway from heaven to well. When dreams run deep and hope grows dim, the Lord draws near and speaks to him. He rose and whispered, the Lord is here. I did not know, yet he came near. The stone beneath became a sign, anointed oil with vow divine. This is God's house, heaven's gate. Surely the Lord has shaped my fate. If he keeps me fed and brings me home, he'll be my God wherever I roam. A fleeing son became a man, held in mercy, shaped by plan. Through broken trust and troubled road, he found the stairway to his load. For God speaks loud in the quiet night, turning wandering feet toward light. Through angel steps and promised care, he taught a refugee how to dare. In stones and dreams, in dawn's first rim, the God of Abraham spoke to him. This is the story of a fleeing son and the ladder of hope, where his fear came undone. This is the story of love's first sight, of years like days in a shepherd's night. Jacob journeyed east through dust and dream, following hope like a distant stream. He came to a well in a quiet field, where shepherds waited with flocks concealed. A stone lay heavy across the top, a weight that made the herdsmen stop. Jacob asked, do you know Laban's line? They said, his daughter comes in time. Rachel approached with her father's sheep, grace in her step, beauty deep. Jacob saw her and strength arose. He rolled the stone no others chose. He watered the flock with eager hand, a stranger welcome to their land. He kissed her softly and greetings blend, wept aloud at God's guiding end. For sometimes love arrives like dawn, soft as breath yet swiftly drawn. A single moment, a whispered cue, and hearts awaken to something true. Through wandering miles and weary pain, hope stands waiting
beside the grain. Rachel ran to her father's sight, told the news in trembling light. Laban welcomed Jacob home. A kin returned from desert Rome. He stayed a month as the days rolled past, serving with joy that forever would last. Laban said, "What wages due? Your labor's worth is owed to you." Jacob's heart knew only one name, Rachel, whose beauty set him aflame. "I'll serve 7 years for her hand in mine," he said with courage pure and fine. Laban agreed, though shadows stirred, a different ending in his word. Yet Jacob worked with love so bright. 7 years passed like a single night. For sometimes love arrives like dawn, soft as breath yet swiftly drawn. A single promise can light the way, turning long years into a day where labor strains and shadows bend. Love keeps steady till journey's end. The wedding came in feast and song, but darkness covered the hidden wrong. Laban brought Leah veiled in gloom, not Rachel whom Jacob longed to groom. Morning broke and truth unveiled, a father's trick where justice failed. Jacob cried, "Why deceive me so?" Laban answered with practiced woe. In our land the elder must wed first. Custom decides, desire reversed. Complete this week, then Rachel you'll gain, but serve 7 more in my domain. Jacob agreed, for love held fast, though sorrow colored the future past. 2 sisters bound in a fragile line, a heart divided by design. Rachel yearned through barren days, yet God saw each with tender sight, held their stories through the night. For sometimes love arrives with cost, through tangled paths where hearts get lost. Yet even then God's weaving stands, threading mercy through human plans, in wells, in weddings, in waiting years. He walks with us through joy and tears. This is the story of love's first sight. And the years that felt like a single night.
This is the story of longing deep, of love divided and promises steep. When Rachel saw she bore no son, envy rose where hope was none. She cried to Jacob, "Give me life, or sorrow cuts me like a knife."
But Jacob answered with a weary flame, am I in God's place to give you a name? So Rachel gave a half for his side, a servant's womb where grief would hide. Bilhah bore Dan, a judgment sign, another son came, Naphtali in line. Rachel said, I've wrestled through strife, I prevailed in the struggles of life. Leah saw hope slipping thin, gave Zilpah to Jacob to enter in. Gad was born, then Asher bright, happy am I. She cried in the night for the house of Jacob, rising tall, stood on longing love and called through rivalry fierce and blessing steep. The Lord remembered those who weep, through many mothers weary and worn, a nation waited to be born. Days went by in the harvest heat, Reuben found mandrakes fragrant sweet. Rachel begged Leah for the prize, hope flickered beneath desperate eyes. Leah answered, wounded and torn, it's taken my husband, not enough scorn. Yet for these herbs you may have tonight, Jacob will rest in my tents alight. God heard Leah's aching cry, gave her a cetron from the sky. Then Zebulun came, her heart more wide, and Dinah born by her weary side. Alas, God opened Rachel's womb, lifted her sorrow, scattered her gloom. Joseph arrived, a dreamer's dawn, a child of promise, hope reborn. For the house of Jacob, rising tall, stood on longing love and called through rivalry fierce and blessing steep. The Lord remembered those who weep, through many mothers weary and worn, a nation waited to be born. Now Jacob said, send me home, I've served enough in lands unknown. But Laban schemed with subtle plea, stay, for blessing has come through thee. They bargained wages in spotted flocks, a shepherd's skill against cunning thoughts. Jacob worked with patient hand, watched his herds fill the land, through branches peeled and patterned ways, through stronger flocks and fertile days. Jacob prospered, Laban waned, inheritance through faith regained. The herds grew vast, the servants more, wealth like tide on distant shore. Jacob arose with a quiet plan, a household shaped by God's own hand. Through tricks and trials, through broken trust, God shaped a nation from dust to dust. 12 sons rising from complex strife, a woven tapestry of life. For the house of Jacob, rising tall, stood on longing loss and call, through barren cries and blessings born, through midday toil and early morn. God stitched mercy into their line, a future carved by his design. This is the story of longing deep, and a house where many sons would sleep. This is the story of a man pressed thin, of hidden departure and family within. Jacob heard whispers through the camp one day, Laban's sons grumbling in quiet dismay. He's taken our father's wealth as his own, stolen the glory our house once known. Laban's face had changed its light, a shadow replacing former sight. Then God spoke softly in the morning air, return to your homeland, I'll be there. Jacob called Rachel and Leah near, told them the truth he'd come to hear. Your father's heart is not the same, but God has prospered me in his name. You know I served with faithful hand, yet he changed my wages time and again. Still God defended me through every deed, gave me flock and child and seed. For when the road turns hard and strange, and loyalties shift and people change, God calls the wandering heart to rise, to follow him beneath new skies, through fear and risk, through broken ties. His promise guards, his mercy guides. Rachel and Leah answered fast, our father sold us, the time has passed. What God has given is rightly thine, do as he leads, his hands the sign. So Jacob packed as the shadows fell, gathered his flocks from hill and dale. He left without warning in silent night, crossing the plains in a hurried flight. Oh, Rachel took idols from Laban's store, a hidden choice with meaning more. 3 days passed before he knew his daughters in Jacob's household flew. Laban pursued with a heart of flame, anger rising, injustice his name. But God appeared in a dream that night, speak not to Jacob, neither curse nor fight. For when the road turns hard and strange, and loyalties shift and people change, God still stands between the lines, shielding his own in troubled times. In tents of fear and dawn's first gleam, he guards a sleeper through the dream. Laban caught Jacob on Gilead's side, asked why flee without goodbye, why steal my heart and hide your steps, carrying daughters like secret debts. Jacob replied with trembling word, I feared your hand, your voice I heard. If force had risen from your command, you take your daughters from my hand. Laban searched every tent and space, seeking idols without a trace. Rachel hid them beneath her seat, Laban's anger left incomplete. He found no cause for wrath or blow, the idols stayed where only she'd know. Then Jacob spoke of years long worn, service twisted, labor torn. For 20 years I bore the heat, watched sleepless nights and restless feet. If not for God, the fear of old, you'd send me off with hands so cold. But he rebuked you in the night, my innocence stands in his sight. For when the road turns hard and strange, and lives are pulled through weary change, God writes protection in the sand, builds peace between divided hands, a covenant set where tempers ease, a heap of witness, a vow of peace. This is the story of a man pressed thin, and the God who sheltered his wandering kin.
This is the story of a fearful night, of a man who wrestled for blessing and light.
Jacob went on his way with dread, Esau's anger still in his head. Messengers ran across the plain, came back trembling with this refrain: your brother approaches with 400 strong. Jacob felt his courage bend and wrong. He split his camp into two that day, hope one might live if the other gave way. He prayed, "O God of the fathers old, you told me to come as you foretold. I'm unworthy of mercy or guiding hand, yet you led me through this foreign land. Deliver me from Esau's might, I fear his wrath in the coming night. Save the mothers and children dear, turn this dread into hope, not fear. For when the night is heavy and long, and every heartbeat feels so wrong, God meets the trembling where shadows stay, and wrestles fear in his own way. In dust and darkness, weakness shown, he shapes the heart till faith has grown. Jacob sent gifts in a flowing stream, goats and rams like a moving dream. Perhaps his anger will fade away, perhaps his heart will soften today. But as the sun sank low and red, Jacob crossed the stream ahead. He sent his household across the ford, and stood alone with a restless Lord. A man appeared in the dead of night, no sound, no warning, just sudden fight. They grappled hard till the dawn drew near, strength against strength, fear against fear. The stranger touched his hip with flame, Jacob fell too weak to stand the same. Yet he clung with trembling, desperate hands, refused to yield to the one who stands. For when the night is heavy and long, and every heartbeat feels so wrong, God meets the trembling where shadows stay, and wrestles fear in his own way. In dust and darkness, weakness shown, he shapes the heart till faith has grown. Let me go, for the dawn is here, said the stranger with holy fear. Jacob cried, I will not release unless you bless me with lasting peace. What is your name? The stranger replied. Jacob, he whispered, broken inside. No longer Jacob, the man decreed, but Israel, one who strives indeed. You've wrestled with God and man as well, and yet you live this tale to tell. Jacob asked, tell me your name, but the stranger left with rising flame. Jacob named the place Peniel bright, for I saw God's face and lived the night. He limped away as the sunlight shone, a wounded man yet newly grown. Sometimes blessing breaks the bone, sometimes victory comes alone. Through the struggle, through the pain, God rewrites the heart again. For when the night is heavy and long, and every step feels dim and wrong, God meets the trembling where shadows stay, and wrestles fear in his own way. With dawn he rises through the ache, and names us new with each heartbreak. This is the story of a fearful night, and the wrestler who walked into morning light. This is the story of brothers undone, of fear turned gentle beneath the sun. Jacob lifted his eyes and saw Esau approaching with steps of awe. 400 men in steady stride, a rushing tide he could not hide. He placed his children one by one, Leah, Rachel, each daughter and son. He walked ahead with a trembling grace, 7 bows low in the open space. Esau ran with a thunderous cry, now with anger but joy drawn high. He fell on Jacob in fierce embrace, tears flowed freely down each face. 2 brothers healed in a single breath, years of hatred laid to death. Esau asked, who are these with you? Children God gave me. Jacob knew, for mercy rises where fear once stood, and hearts find healing misunderstood. When love breaks through the years of pain, a family learns to breathe again. Where wrath once swelled like a desert flood, grace now flows like living blood. The wives drew near with humble stance, children bowing in reverent glance. Esau asked of the herds before, gifts sent early to soften war. These are for you, Jacob replied, a sign of favor, not of pride. But Esau said, brother, I have enough. Yet Jacob pressed with gentle love. Please take my blessing from my hand, a peace offer across the land. For seeing your face is like seeing God, mercy given where I deserve the rod. Esau agreed and took the gift, 2 spirits raised from ancient rift. He said, let's travel side by side. But Jacob paused with gentle stride, for mercy rises where fear once stood, and hearts find healing misunderstood. When love breaks through the years of pain, a family learns to breathe again. What hatred built, grace can erase, a miracle held in a brother's faith. My children are young, my flocks move slow. Let me follow at my own paces flow. Go ahead to sear my brother dear, I'll follow later, never fear. Esau turned south with heart made warm, a softened giant after storm. Jacob journeyed to Sukkot's land, built shelters with his careful hand. Then he moved to Shechem's door, bought the field he would restore. He set an altar in the open place, called it God of Israel's grace. A man renamed in a foreign night, now steps in peace beneath daylight. Reconciliation heals what time can't mend, a wound made whole where prayers are sin. 2 hearts once torn in bitter strife find quiet mercy, restoring life. For mercy rises where fear once stood, washing the past in holy good. Brothers embrace where hatred died, peace descending like morning tide. In dust and tears their story flows, a testament to the God who knows. This is the story of brothers undone, and the healing found beneath the sun. This is the story of a wounded name, of honor shaken
and hearts in flame. Dinah, daughter of Leah's line, walked the land in youthful shine. She went to visit the daughters there, a simple journey without despair. But Shechem, prince of the Hivite land, saw her beauty and reached his hand. A wrong was done that broke her peace, a wound that cried for love's release. He spoke with longing, asked for grace, begged his father in urgent pace, give me Dinah to be my bride. Let our people walk side by side. Hamor came to Jacob's door, spoke of union and something more. But Jacob's sons returned and heard, their hearts grew stormy at every word. For some wounds cut where words can't heal, and justice trembles on sharpened steel. A father's silent, sons ablaze, a family caught in tangled ways. Through pain too deep for simple peace, hearts cry out for love's release. The sons of Jacob spoke in guise, hiding fire behind their eyes. Let Shechem join us if they agree, all their men marked like we must be. Circumcise each in covenant sign, then Dinah may cross your family's line. Hamor and Shechem embraced the call, spoke to the city to win them all. On the third day when pain ran sore, Simeon and Levi came to the door. With righteous fury and burning breath, they struck the city and brought forth death. They took their sister from Shechem's home, a daughter restored though hearts would roam. Jacob trembled at what they'd done, fear of nations beneath the sun. For some wounds cut where words can't heal, and justice trembles on sharpened steel. A father's silent, sons ablaze, a family caught in tangled ways. Through pain too strong for simple peace, the cry for wrong to find release. Jacob said, you've troubled me so, enemies gather wherever we go. But his sons replied with a single plea, should he treat our sister shamefully? A broken household stood in line, no easy answer, no simple sign. The story waits for God's own voice, guiding justice, shaping choice. In fractured moments where life goes wrong, God still writes a healing song. Through human fury, loss and ache, He walks beside each heart that breaks. For some wounds cut where words fall short, and sorrow stands as a last resort. But even there, through storm and night, God carries daughters in His sight. Though vengeance clouds the family's way, His mercy speaks another day. This is the story of a wounded name, and a household torn by love and shame.
This is the story of vows renewed, of tears and tombs, and a life pursued. God said to Jacob, rise again, go to Bethel where it all began. Build me an altar in that place where you fled with fear and found my grace. Jacob told his household near, put away idols, we draw near. Change your garments, cleanse your way. We rise to Bethel this very day. Terror from heaven fell on the land, no enemy moved moved against their band. Jacob returned to Bethel's height, where dreams once opened to heaven's light. He built an altar, called out God's name, the one who answered through fear and flame. There Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, was buried under an oaken verse. For God restores where footsteps roam and leads the wanderer safely home. Through broken vows and tears that fall, His mercy still keeps hold of all. From fleeing youth to fathered years, He walks beside our hopes and fears. God appeared again to Jacob there, spoke His promise through holy air. Your name is Jacob, but not for long. Israel now shall be your song. I am Almighty, be fruitful, rise. Nations and kings will come from your line. The land I gave to Abraham's days, I give to you and your children's ways. Jacob set a pillar of stone upright, poured out oil in sacred rite. From Bethel's height he journeyed on, steps toward Ephrath in morning dawn. But Rachel labored in painful cries, a child arriving beneath heavy skies. Fear not, the midwife gently said, a son is born, though her strength had fled. For God restores where footsteps roam, but grief still walks beside our home. In halls of joy and birthing cry, sometimes a loved one says goodbye. Yet even there, through sorrow's breath, He holds our hearts through love and death. As Rachel faded, her voice grew dim. She named him Benoni in sorrow's hymn. But Jacob whispered with trembling grace, Benjamin, son of my right hand place. He buried Rachel on that road, raised a marker where tears overflowed. A mother's love in earth now pressed, a memory carved where travelers rest. Israel moved on in weary tread, 12 sons growing where journeys led. Reuben stumbled in sinful choice, a wound that strained his father's voice. Isaac lived on in Hebron's land, where Abraham walked with steady hand. Then Isaac died in a peaceful end, gathered by Esau and Jacob again. Life circles back through joy and ache, through promises God does not break. From Bethel's dream to Rachel's tomb, He fills the journey with His room. For God restores where footsteps roam and leads His children safely home. Through vows renewed and losses deep, through nights that steal the heart from sleep, He holds the story in His hand, guiding each step across the land. This is the story of vows renewed, and a God whose presence sees us through.
This is a story of a brother's road, of names that rose where red hills glowed. These are the generations of Esau's line, the brother once lost through a stolen sign. He took his wives from the Hittite land, built his household with a wandering hand. Sons were born beneath Canaan's sky, nations formed where the tents lay high. But the land grew tight for both to stay, so Esau traveled another way. He settled in mountains rugged and red, where Edom's cliffs like fire spread. Jacob stayed in the promised plain, two destinies formed from joy and pain. Esau's wealth grew wide and strong, princes rising in tribal song. Chiefs of clans through seers' gates, line upon line the story relates. For even the names we seldom know are seeds of nations God lets grow. Through brothers parted roads untold, He shapes the future from
The sons of Seir, the horrid band, joined their story to Esau's land. Chiefs and rulers, men of renown, carved their home in the desert ground. Kings arose before Israel's crown, before a scepter in Judah was found. Edom's line stood fierce and proud, a nation born from a father bowed. These are the chiefs of Esau's seed, leaders formed in a wandering creed. Timnah, Kenaz, and Ahalabama's line, threads of history intertwined. Though Jacob bore the promised role, God still shaped Esau's soul. For every name has weight and worth, every tribe a place on earth. For even the names we seldom know are seeds of nations God lets grow. Through brothers parted roads untold, He shapes the future from days of old. In mountains red or valleys green, His hand is present, though unseen. Two brothers' paths in different lands, two stories held in sovereign hands. One with promise, one with might, both remembered in God's sight. For even the names the world forgets are held by God without regrets. A lineage carved in desert stone, a mountain kingdom all its own. Across the ages the truth rings clear. God sees every tribe and every name here. This is a story of a brother's road and the nation born where red hills glowed. This is the story of a dreamer's fall, of envy rising and destiny's call. Joseph favored in Jacob's hand, a coat of colors bright and grand. His brothers watched with darkened eyes, felt overshadowed by love's disguise. Joseph told dreams of sheaves that bowed, of stars and sun in a radiant cloud. His brothers burned with rising fire, jealousy turning to deep desire. Jacob sent him to fields afar, to find his brothers where shepherds are. Joseph wandered till Dothan's plain, where fate began its trembling reign. They saw him coming from far away, plotted together with hearts gone gray. Here comes the dreamer, let's send his voice, cast him down and silence his choice. For dreams can shine where darkness stands, and purpose moves through human plans. Though hatred schemes and brothers split, God still watches over the pit. From heights of favor to depths so grim, the journey bends, but not for him. Reuben cried, shed no blood today, throw him in the pit and walk away. He planned to save him when evening came, but destiny shifted all the same. They stripped his coat of colors bright, cast him down from day to night. Joseph cried out from the empty place, but cold stone answered his trembling face. Then traders passed on desert sand, Ishmaelites from distant land. Judah said, why shed his blood? Sell him instead, avoid the flood. He is our brother, our very flesh. They lifted Joseph with ropes and mesh. For 20 silver coins he went, a price of sorrow, malice spent. For dreams can't shine where
darkness stands, and hope survives in stranger hands. Though bondage waits and chains are set, the author of dreams is not done yet. Through tears and loss, through shifting fate, God moves the pieces small and great. Reuben returned and tore his clothes. The empty pit told all he knows. Where is the boy? He cried in vain. A brother's guilt, a hidden pain. They dipped the coat in a young goat's blood, carried the lie like a rising flood. Jacob wept with a broken moan, refused all comfort, grief full grown. Meanwhile the caravan rolled its way toward Egypt's gates in dawning day. Joseph delivered to Potiphar's hand, a slave now walking a foreign land. But heaven whispered through chains and night, this dreamer's journey is still in sight. From father's love to brother's spite, from blazing colors to darkest night, the God who shapes both loss and gain holds every thread in hidden rain. For dreams can shine where darkness stands, and rise again through distant lands. Though pits are deep and betrayal cold, the dreamer's story is not yet told. For every sorrow, every tear, God moved the dream from year to year. This is the story of a dreamer's fall, and the silent hand that guides it all.
This is the story of a broken line, of hidden justice in God's design. Judah left his brother's land, walked with Hagar, a Canaanite friend. He took a wife and sons were born. Her first cried out in morning's dawn. But did evil in the Lord's sight, and his days were shortened by heaven's might. Judah said to Onan then, raise up a brother from where he's been. But Onan refused the sacred call, turned from duty, turning small. So judgment came with quiet tread, a second son now lying dead. Judah feared for his youngest child, sent Tamar home for a little while. Wait till Shelah grows to be a man, but he did not keep the promised plan. For truth will rise where lies are sown, and justice speaks though hearts disown. Through winding paths and choices flawed, mercy weaves the thread of God. In shadows deep where shame might dwell, his grace still finds a way to tell. Years went by and Judah's wife passed beyond the bounds of life. Tamar saw that hope grew thin, Shelah grown, no future in. She veiled her face by the roadside gate, a widow daring to challenge fate. Judah came, not knowing her face, spoke of a price for a fleeting embrace. She asked his seal, his staff, his cord, tokens binding word to word. He gave them freely, unaware of the justice rising in that snare. A life conceived in a fragile hour, a turning point of hidden power. Judah sent a goat to settle the due, but she was gone, no trace, no clue. For truth will rise where lies are sown, and justice speaks though hearts disown. Through winding paths and choices flawed, mercy weaves the thread of God. Where secrets hide and hearts condemn, his righteousness darkness outshines them. 3 months passed and Judah heard Tamar is with child, a condemning word. Bring her out, he said in wrath, let judgment fall on her treacherous path. But she sent the tokens in reply, by this man I carry life inside. Judah's heart broke open wide, truth unmasked what shame had tried. He said she's more righteous than I, for I withheld what I swore to supply. No longer anger, only grace, recognition in a humbled face. Tamar bore twins in labor's pain, Perez first through broken strain. Zerah's hand was scarlet thread, a sign of hope where shame once spread. Through flawed men and fragile days, God still rides his sovereign ways. From Perez's line a king would come, redemption born from the broken son. For truth will rise where grace is sown, and mercy claims what guilt had owned. Through tangled stories harsh and raw, God shapes redemption's holy law. From scarlet thread to royal throne, he forms a future all his own. This is the story of a broken line, and the scarlet thread in God's design. This is the story of favor and fear, of a captive rising while God draws near. Joseph was taken to Egypt's land, sold to Potiphar's steady hand. A captain strong in Pharaoh's guard, a man of power, watchful hard. But the Lord was with Joseph in every place, turning sorrow into quiet grace. His work shone bright in a foreign hall, faithful in little, faithful in all. Potiphar saw that the Lord gave light, blessing Joseph by day and night. He placed him over his house entire, goods and fields and men he'd hire. From that moment the blessings grew, Egyptian storehouses flourished too. Joseph walked with a humble heart, though chains had brought him far apart. For God is with you, though worlds unwind, in foreign lands where hope is blind. Through rising favor or darkest threat, his faithful hand is present yet. From pit to palace, lost to gain, he walks beside you through every chain. Joseph was handsome, strong, and wise, and Potiphar's wife cast longing eyes. She said, lie with me day by day, but he refused in a steadfast way. How can I sin against my Lord and break the trust my master poured? He fled her reach, though she held fast, integrity shining where shadows cast. One day she caught him by his cloak, he slipped away before she spoke. Left with fabric in jealous hand, she twisted truth across the land. See how this Hebrew mocked my name, came to me with reckless shame. Potiphar heard, with fury stirred, believed the lie of her deceitful word. For God is with you, though lies arise, though anger flashes in wounded eyes. When truth is buried, justice slow, his sovereign watch still guards below. remains near, not behind. Joseph was thrown into prison's keep, a place where Egypt's shadows sleep. But even there God's favor stayed, a gentle light in the darkest shade. The warden saw his faithful ways, trusted Joseph through prison days. He placed the keys in his steady hand, a prisoner ruling the captive land. When life seems stolen, torn apart, God still reigns within the heart. The story bends but does not break, He uses sorrow. For God is with you through rise and fall, through wrongful chains and hopeful call. What others mean for harm and shame, He turns to purpose in His name. From lowest dungeon to sovereign plan, God lifts the dreamer into His span. This is the story of favor and fear, of Joseph held while God drew near. This is the story of dreams confined, of hope postponed but not resigned. Joseph served in the prison hall, faithful still through rise and fall. Two royal servants soon were cast, the cupbearer and baker from Pharaoh's past. Offended their master in hidden ways, now chained beside him in shadow days. Joseph cared for them night and morn, a gentle light where sorrow's born. One night each dreamed a heavy thing, visions wrapped with trembling ring. They woke disturbed with clouded eyes, Joseph saw through their silent sighs. Tell me your dreams, he calmly said, for God gives meaning where fears are spread. They spoke their burdens one by one, seeds of future already begun. For God still speaks in the darkest place, in prison walls or open space. Though chains surround and friends are few, His voice breaks through the iron hue. Dreams laid low or tears unshed, He holds the future where mortals tread. The cupbearer dreamed of a blossoming vine, 3 branches ripe, bursting with wine. He pressed the cup into Pharaoh's hand, a scene of service he used to command. Joseph smiled at the hopeful tone, 3 days more and you'll return home. Remember me when freedom's near, for I was taken and left in fear. The baker spoke with unsteady breath, his baskets high on his head's crest. Birds ate the bread he meant to bring, a shadow cast on everything. Joseph answered with saddened heart, 3 days more your life departs. Pharaoh will lift your head indeed, but not in honor, not in need. For God still speaks in the darkest place, with truth that mercy does not erase. Some dreams rise while others fall, yet purpose moves through it all. Though endings come and hopes divide, He holds the meaning on every side. Three days passed in royal pace,
Pharaoh's birthday a festive place. He restored the cupbearer with joyful tone, and the baker faced judgment alone. Just as Joseph's words foretold, the dreams came true in stories bold. But the cupbearer in lifted cheer forgot the dreamer still waiting here. Forgotten by man but not by God, Joseph waited beneath the rod. 2 more years in prison's keep, yet heaven watched while mortals sleep. For God still speaks in the quiet years, in waiting rooms of doubt and tears. Though people fail and memories fade, His timing holds what He has made. A dream delayed is not denied. The dreamer's story is turned by his stride. This is the story of dreams confined, and the God who moves in His own time.
This is the story of a dreamer raised, of prisons opened and kingdoms amazed. 2 full years in silence stayed, Joseph waited while time delayed. Then Pharaoh dreamed by the river's flow, 7 fat cows in morning glow. But 7 thin cows rose behind, swallowed their strength in a scene unkind. A second dream of heads of grain, with famine hidden in its refrain. Pharaoh's spirit trembled wide, called for magicians on every side. But no one knew the meaning clear, no voice could calm the rising fear. Then the cupbearer remembered the night, a dreamer spoke with perfect sight. Bring Joseph forth from prison's place, the Hebrew man with God's own grace. For when the moment heaven designs, the doors swing wide on unseen lines. A single word, a sudden call, God lifts the humble above them all. From dungeon chains to Pharaoh's throne, He writes the story by His own. Joseph was shaved, his garments changed, brought before Pharaoh well arranged. I've heard you interpret dreams, Pharaoh said through anxious streams. Joseph bowed in humble tone, it's not in me, God makes it known. Then Pharaoh spoke the visions twice, images cold as desert ice. Joseph said, God shows what's near. 7 years of abundance clear, then 7 years of famine fall, harsh enough to swallow all. Store the grain in every town, lay it deep while crops abound. Choose a man with wisdom's sight, guard the nation from hunger's blight. For when the moment heaven designs, the lonely rise and fear resigns. God lifts the forgotten, heals the wrong, makes the weak astonishingly strong. From prison walls to Pharaoh's reign, He turns a servant into a king. Pharaoh stood in stunned amaze, said, God's spirit fills your ways. No one wiser in all the land, you shall rule by my command. He placed his ring on Joseph's hand, dressed him in linen, gold and stand. A chariot rolled through Egypt's street, and people bowed at Joseph's feet. He stored the grain in boundless heaps, shapes like sand of sea where the measure sleeps. In Joseph's home 2 sons were born, Manasseh first in healing's morn. God made me forget my grief, a name of rest, a place of peace, Ephraim next in fertile grace. God made me fruitful in a foreign place. When famine came through every land, Egypt stood firm with grain at hand. People traveled across the sea, and Joseph ruled with clarity. For when the moment heaven designs, the waiting heart at last aligns. A dream once buried in darkest night rises again in sovereign light. From pit to prison, lost to power, God shaped the dreamer for this hour. This is the story of a dreamer raised, and the God whose timing leaves kings amazed.
This is the story of famine and fear, of brothers haunted by yesteryear. Famine spread through every land, harsh winds blowing through Cain and sand. Jacob heard Egypt still had grain, hope like water in droughts refrain. He said to his sons, why stand and stare? Go down to Egypt, find mercy there. 10 brothers traveled with weary tread, while Benjamin stayed at home instead. Joseph ruled in Egypt's might, a stranger king in garments bright. His brothers bowed with lowered eyes, not knowing the dreamer they despised. Joseph knew them, but they knew not. Old wounds stirred in a hidden night. He spoke harsh words through far to stone, for guilt can echo through passing years. Soft as whispers, sharp as spears. What we bury still takes breath, a shadow walking with life and death. Yet through the pain and tangled thread, God brings truth where lies once spread. Where do you come from? Joseph asked. From Canaan's land, they said at last. We're honest men, 12 in all. One is gone, the youngest small. Joseph pressed, you speak a lie. Prove your words or surely die. He cast them into prison's keep. 3 long days with little sleep. Then Joseph spoke more softly now. Bring Benjamin here, fulfill your vow. One shall stay while the rest depart. Your truth or falsehood will be shown apart. The brothers trembled in rising dread. Old memories burn in the paths they tread. Surely we're punished, one voice broke. For Joseph's cries when we betrayed his yoke. For guilt can echo through passing years. Soft as whispers, sharp as spears. Yet God awakens what we hide, to heal the wounds still raw inside. Through famine's trial and foreign land, he shapes repentance with gentle hand. Joseph turned aside to weep unseen, a broken heart where grace had been. He returned and bound Simeon there, sent the others with loaded fare, but secretly placed their silver back, a test to measure their hearts' track. On their journey home in fear and awe, they opened sacks and terror saw. Back in Canaan, Jacob
Jacob cried, Joseph is gone, Simeon denied. Now Benjamin, too, you wish to take all this sorrow for my sake. Reuben spoke with desperate plea, trust me, Father, let him go with me. But Jacob clung with trembling tone, refusing to send his lastborn alone. The weight of secrets years unfurled, two families shaped by a broken world. Yet even famine serves God's plan, drawing truth from every man. For guilt can echo through passing years, but mercy waits beyond our fears. What once was shattered is not the end. God leads the wounded back to mend. From Egypt's courts to Canaan's plain, He guides the story through loss and pain. This is the story of famine and fear, and brothers haunted by yesteryear. This is the story of fear and return, of brothers tested through lessons stern. The famine grew harsher in Canaan's lands, emptied barns and weakened hands. Jacob said, go buy us grain, but Judah spoke through honest pain. The man warned strictly face to face, we cannot return without Benjamin's place. Jacob yielded with trembling cry, may God Almighty keep him nigh. Brothers gathered their silver stores, double payment for what was yours. Balm and honey and resin rare, gifts to soften the ruler's stare. They journeyed down through desert scene, hearts uncertain of what might seem. Joseph saw Benjamin among the men, a brother's memory revived again. For mercy waits where justice stands, its quiet strength in unseen hands. Though fear may shadow what lies ahead, grace prepares a feast instead. Hearts once hardened, wounded, torn, find gentle healing and hope reborn. Joseph ordered his steward to say, bring these men to my house today. The brothers trembled in growing dread. Is it for the silver return, they said. But the steward answered with calm and sound, your God has placed that silver found. Simeon returned with chains undone, a spark of mercy beneath the sun. When Joseph came, they bowed once more. 12 sons gathered on Egypt's floor. He asked of their father, is he alive? A fragile question kept hope alive. Then Joseph saw Benjamin near, his youngest brother held so dear. He blessed the boy with trembling grace, then rushed to weep in a hidden place. For mercy waits where justice stands, its quiet strength in unseen hands. Though truth is hidden beneath disguise, love still burns behind the remember what they've lost. Grace pays the price, whatever the cost. They gathered around the table spread, foreign dishes and royal bread. Joseph sat apart in Egyptian way. The brothers arranged from oldest to young that day. Marvel rose in their silent stare. How did he know the order there? Benjamin's plate was filled fivefold, a hint of favor quietly told. They ate and drank with rising ease, moments softened like desert breeze. But Joseph's test was not yet done, a final measure still to come. He prepared a trial for the family band, to see if love could now withstand what years ago had torn apart a father's home, a dreamer's heart. Mercy moves where memory bleeds, pleads, calling forth repentant seeds. Old wounds stir, yet healing grows in hidden ways only heaven knows. For mercy waits where justice stands and gently molds reluctant hands. At Egypt's table fear gave way, hope took breath for one more day. The story turns through God's design, restoring brothers line by line. Oh, this is the story of fear and return, and the table of mercy where hearts begin to learn. This is the story of a hidden test, of guilty hearts brought to confess. Joseph spoke softly to his steward's hand, fill their sacks as the journey's planned. Give back their silver every grain, but place my cup in Benjamin's grain. Morning broke on a hopeful band. The brothers walked from Egypt's land, but justice followed with urgent stride. A secret test Joseph could not hide. The steward overtook them on the road, accused them of wrong in a heavy load. Why steal my master's cup of light, the silver chalice of his sight? The brothers cried, let truth prevail. We'd never steal nor dare betray. Search our sacks, if one is found, let him die on this very ground. For truth revealed will shake the soul, expose the wounds that time made whole. Through mercy's test and justice plea, hearts await for what they'll be. In desert dust or foreign sands, God shapes repentance with his hands. One by one the sacks were torn, oldest to youngest in unfolding mourn. Then Benjamin's bag was open wide, the silver cup shone from inside. Their hearts collapsed in a single cry, clothes were torn beneath the sky. They returned to Joseph, trembling, spent, shadows echoing where years had went. Joseph said, this lad remains, punishment for the cup he retains. The rest may go in peace today. Return to your father on the way. But Judah stepped forth with breaking tone, his voice a burden, trembling stone. Please let your servant speak his plea. A family hangs on what you decree. For truth revealed will shake the soul, expose the wounds that time made whole. When hearts once hardened begin to bend, redemption whispers through the end. Where guilt had lived and fear had grown, a brother stands with a heart full grown. Judah spoke of the boy so dear, his father's sorrow, his constant fear. His brother's gone, his life is tied to Benjamin's breath at his side. If we return without this son, my father's life will come undone. Take me instead, let him go free. Let chains fall heavy upon me. A slave to you in this foreign place, but send the boy to my father's face. For I pledged him with my very soul. Lose him and I lose my role. Judah bowed as the room held still, his sacrifice a sacred will. Joseph watched with a breaking heart, old wounds healing in Judah's palm. stands to change the course. From betrayal stain to a brother's vow, God remade the heart somehow. For truth revealed can soften stone, turn guilt to grace, to courage grown. A silver cup, a trembling plea, a brother changed by agony. In Egypt's halls the story bends toward mercy's dawn, where all amends. This is the story of a hidden test, and Judah's heart laid bare, confessed.
This is the story of truth unveiled, of brothers trembling where grace prevailed. Joseph could no longer hold the flood. His heart was pounding in his blood. He cried, "Send everyone away from here." Only his brothers remained in fear. He wept so loud the servants heard. Egypt trembled at the bursting word. Then Joseph spoke with breaking breath, a revelation stronger than death. I am Joseph, your brother lost. Is my father alive despite the cost? The brothers froze like stones in place, terror written across each face. But Joseph said, "Come near to me. What you meant for harm, God used to free. You sold me once, but now I stand by God's own purpose in this land. For grace can bloom where guilt has grown, and mercy speak in a trembling tone. What man intends for deepest wrong, God turns to healing all along, through tears and truth, through shattered past. His sovereign kindness stands steadfast. Famine still has years to bear, but God sent me ahead to care, to save your lives, preserve your way. A remnant kept for another day. It wasn't you who brought me here, but God who dried my every tear. So do not grieve or fear your shame. He lifted me for his great name. Go bring my father, hurry now, let sorrow break its final vow. Come live near me in Goshen's land, protected by my guiding hand. Tell him of all you've seen today, the honor given in Pharaoh's way. Then Joseph kissed them one by one, Reuben weeping, Judah undone. For grace can bloom where guilt has grown, where broken hearts are finally shown. When truth and mercy intertwine, redemption writes a perfect line. Though years were lost in foreign lands, God held their story in his hands. Pharaoh heard and welcomed wide, offered wagons for the ride. Bring your father, leave no fear, the best of Egypt waits you here. The brothers left with gifts supplied, hearts still shaking deep inside. But Joseph pressed them with gentle smile, do not quarrel along the mile. They reached their home with urgent breath, told Jacob news he thought was death. Joseph lives, he rules the land, hope revived in an aged man. Israel rose with trembling voice, my son yet lives, my soul rejoices. I will go and see him near, before my final days draw near. What guilt had stolen, grace restored, a family healed by God's reward. Through famine's ache and years of pain, love found its way to live again. For grace can bloom where guilt once reigned, where tears were sown and hearts were strained. God writes the ending unexpected, a masterpiece of love's
perfect in Egypt's halls and Canaan's dust. He works all things with faithful trust. This is the story of truth unveiled and mercy stronger than all that failed.
This is a story of a nation's dawn, of an old man traveling where God leads on. Israel set out with trembling heart, ready last for the southern start. He came to Beersheba, sacred ground, where his father's altars still were found. He offered sacrifices in the night, and God spoke forth in a voice of light. Jacob, Jacob, do not fear, go down to Egypt, for I am near. I'll make of you a mighty band, a countless people in a foreign land. I'll go with you, I'll bring you back, my promise stands, it will not lack. Joseph's hand will close your eyes, hope rose gently through aging sighs. So Israel gathered all his own, a family tree now fully grown. For God guides footsteps through unknown plains, through fear, through famine, through joy and pains. Though journeys shift and seasons part, his faithful whisper steadies the heart, where promise calls and memories stay. He leads his people on the way. Wagons rolled across the sand, carrying sons and daughters band. Lists of names like rivers spread, the living branches of Abraham's thread. A Reuben, Simeon, Levi's line, Judah's tribe through promises sign. Joseph's sons born in Egypt's care, Manasseh and Ephraim standing there. 70 souls in total came, bearing the weight of a future name. From humble tents in Canaan's dry to Egypt's gates beneath white sky, Judah went ahead to show the way, to meet Joseph's without delay. When Joseph saw his father near, he wept upon him long and clear. For God guides footsteps through unknown plains, through tears reunited and healed remains. Though years were lost and hearts delayed, his sovereign purpose never strayed. Where sorrow ends and embraces start, he binds the pieces of every heart. Israel whispered through joyful cries, now let me die, for I've seen your eyes. Life restored where grief once lay, a father and son in bright array. Joseph said, I'll tell Pharaoh this, my family comes from wilderness. We're shepherds all from birth till now, let Goshen be where you allow. For shepherds are low in Egypt's sight, yet Goshen's fields are wide and right. Thus Joseph planned with wisdom's hand to give his people fertile land, a place to grow in foreign space, a sanctuary of God's own grace. From promised soil to Egypt's door, God's faithfulness endures once more. What famine threatened, grace redeemed, a nation rising as God had dreamed. For God guides footsteps through unknown plains, through shifting kingdoms and earthly chains. He plants his people where they'll thrive, turning despair into hope alive. Through every journey, loss and cry, his promise stands and will not die. This is the
story of a nation's dawn. And the God who leads his children on.
This is the story of famine and favor, of a family sheltered by God's own savor. Joseph came before Pharaoh's throne, said, "My father and brothers have left their home. Their flocks and herds, their weary band, all have arrived in Egypt's land." 5 brothers stepped in Pharaoh's sight, shepherds humble in foreign light. He asked, "What work do you call your own?" "We tend the flocks," their voices shone. Pharaoh turned with a gracious call, "Let them settle in Goshen's hall. Choose able men to watch my herds, for trustworthy hands speak louder than words." Then Jacob, aged and walking slow, stood before Pharaoh's royal glow. "How old are you?" the king inquired, a question gentle, respectfully inspired. For God prepares a place of rest, even in lands where we feel like guests. Through humble steps and shifting sands, he shelters us in foreign lands. When famine roars and futures shake, he guides his people for his name's sake. Jacob said, "My years are few, hard and troubled, yet God was true." He blessed the king with trembling hand, a shepherd blessing the Lord of the land. Joseph settled his kin nearby, gave them bread as the months slipped by. But famine tightened its heavy hold across the Nile, across the wool. The people cried, "Our silver's gone, give us grain to carry on." Joseph received their cattle and flocks, exchanging food for Egypt's stocks. Another year and they returned in need. "Take our land, our labor, our seed, just spare our lives that we may stand. Make us servants in Pharaoh's land." For God prepares a place of rest, even when burdens press the chest. Through hunger's grip and desperate plea, he moves through human history. Where nations fail and kingdoms bend, his wisdom governs to the end. Joseph bought the land for Pharaoh's crown, except the priests their fields held down. He said, "Sow seed when the rains return, give Pharaoh a fifth from all you earn." The people answered with grateful breath, "You've saved our lives from certain death." So Egypt stood through famine's rage, a living chapter on history's page. Israel dwelled in Goshen's fields, where soil was rich and harvest yields. They grew in number, strength and name, a rising nation through God's flame. Jacob lived 17 more years, a legacy deep through joys and tears. And as his final days drew near, he called for Joseph to come close here. "Do not bury me in Egypt's land, carry me home by your faithful hand. Swear to lay me where fathers sleep, in the field I vowed forever to keep." For God prepares a place of rest, a promised hope for every test. Through famine's fire and kingdom's sway, his faithfulness lights every way. From Goshen's peace to Canaan's hill, his covenant stands unbroken still. This is the story of famine and favor, and a family held by God's own savor. This is the story of blessing and light, of an old man leaning toward heaven's side. Joseph was told, "Your father is weak," so he brought his sons with hearts that seek. Manasseh firstborn, strong and tall,
Ephraim younger, gentle and called. Israel strengthened upon his bed, a fading flame with wisdom spread. He said, God Almighty appeared to me, promised a nation yet to be. He spoke of Rachel with tender breath, the love he buried in Bethlehem's death. Then he said, your sons are mine, Ephraim and Manasseh in Israel's line. As Reuben and Simeon stand in place, so these two share my covenant and grace. Joseph bowed low with reverent care, positioning his sons with formal prayer. For God chooses paths we cannot see, crosses lines of expectancy. The first may wait, the last may rise, a mystery written in ancient skies, through trembling hands and faith untold. He shapes the story as it unfolds. Israel's eyes were dim with age, yet his spirit saw beyond the stage. Joseph placed Manasseh at Jacob's right, Ephraim at his left in proper sight. But Israel crossed his hands with grace, a quiet shift in that sacred place. Right hand fell on Ephraim's head, a younger son lifted instead. Joseph cried, not so, my father, this is the firstborn, the rightful honor. But Jacob whispered, calm and wise, with heaven's truth behind his eyes. I know, my son, I know it well, Manasseh's line will surely swell, but Ephraim's tribe will grow more strong, a greater people before too long. For God chooses paths we cannot see, crosses lines of expectancy. His blessings fall where he ordains, not bound by birth nor earthly chains. Through crooked roads and humble birth, he lifts the least to shape the earth. Israel blessed Joseph in tender tones, said, the God who has been my own, who shepherded me all my days, who redeemed me in countless ways. May he bless these boys with his hand and multiply them across the land. May my name and my father's live through the sons that God will give. Then Israel spoke with gentle might, you'll return to Canaan in God's time right. I give you the ridge I won by sword, an inheritance marked by the Lord. Prophetic words from lips grown faint, a final brushstroke from a saint. Old hands crossed in sacred stance, a symbol of God's surprise enhanced. For he delights in overturning norms, raising the younger through silent storms. For God chooses paths we cannot see, writes grace in unexpected decree. Through fading eyes and final breath, his purpose beyond death. The blessing stands though ages shift, a father's prophecy, heaven's gift. This is the story of blessing and light, and the crossed hands choosing the future's flight.
This is the story of final breath, a father's words outlasting death. Jacob called his sons to stand, 12 strong branches of promised land. Gather near and hear my voice, these are the words of heaven's choice. The room grew still as shadows fell, a patriarch with truths to tell. Each name a stone in Israel's wall, each blessing shaping rise or fall. Reuben, firstborn of my might, unstable as water, you lost your right. Simeon and Levi, swords of pride, violent
lands where you abide. Your anger scattered across the land, but God will guide your future hand. For destinies rise from a father's call, through mercies rise or judgments fall. Each tribe a story in God's great plan, a tapestry woven from mortal man. Through blessing, warning, hope, and flame, He carves a nation from each name. Judah, lion with scepter strong, your brothers praise your ancient song. Kings will rise from your royal line, the ruler's staff forever thine. Zebulun shall dwell by the sea, a haven for ships and destiny. Issachar strong like a beast of rest, bearing burdens yet still blessed. Dan will judge his people's path, the serpent striking in quiet wrath. Gad, though pressed by enemies, band will rise again and take his stand. Asher will yield rich food and bread, nations fed from the work of his stead. For destinies rise from a father's call, through mercies rise or judgments fall. Each tribe a story in God's great plan, a tapestry woven from mortal man. Though futures shift and kingdoms sway, His purpose guides them day by day. Naphtali runs with freedom's grace, a door released in open space. Joseph, a vine by a flowing wall, blessed beyond the reach of all. Though arrows wounded in younger years, God strengthened you through trials and tears. Blessings of heaven and ancient deep rest on you for your father's keep. Benjamin, wolf in morning light, devouring prey with warrior's might. 12 sons stood as the future opened, each one bound by words now spoken. Jacob breathed with fading voice, preparing for his final choice. Bury me in our father's land, in the cave bought by Abraham's hand. A father's prophecy, fierce and kind, etched eternal in tribe and mind. From Judah's crown to Joseph's grace, God's plan took form in time and place. For destinies rise from a father's call, and God stands sovereign over all. Through blessings, fire, and promise bright, He leads His people through the night. From these 12 roots a nation grew, a living witness to all God would do. This is the story of final breath, and the words that echo beyond death. This is the story of endings and grace, of tears and truth in a sacred place. Joseph fell upon his father's face, held him close in a long embrace. Israel's journey had reached its end, a patriarch, a father, a shepherd friend. Joseph ordered with a reverent tone, prepare his body, honor the bone. For 40 days the embalmers came, a royal mourning in Jacob's name. Egypt wept for 70 days, kings and servants in solemn ways. Then Joseph spoke to Pharaoh's throne, my father asked to be taken home to Canaan's field where our fathers sleep. There I vowed his rest to keep.
Pharaoh agreed with gracious heart, allowed the funeral's noble start. For love remembers when life has passed, and covenant ties forever last. Through desert winds or foreign land, God holds the story in His hand. From birth to tomb, from loss to light, He walks beside us day and night. A great procession crossed the sand, chariots and elders from Egypt's land. They mourned in silence, tore their clothes, paid Jacob honor where sorrow rose. They buried him in the field of Machpelah, the cave of promise from Abraham's era. Then Joseph returned with grieving band, back to Egypt's fertile land. But Joseph's brothers feared the past. What if his mercy doesn't last? Now that our father's gone from sight, will Joseph repay the wrong in spite? They sent a message trembling low, forgive your servants for long ago. Joseph wept when he heard them speak, his voice grew gentle, calm and meek. For love remembers when guilt remains, and grace breaks through the heaviest chains. Though hearts fear justice from years behind, mercy answers with love refined. What shame had etched, what fear had sown, God turns to healing fully grown. Do not fear, Joseph said, you meant me harm, but God instead used it all for saving lives. A greater purpose now arrives. Am I in God's place to condemn? No, brothers, I will care for them. You and your children will know my grace. No vengeance lives within this place. Joseph lived for many years, saw children's children through joy and tears. But as his own last days drew near, he spoke with faith and steady cheer. God will come and bring you home, back to the land where fathers roam. Carry my bones when you depart, for Canaan still beats in my heart. From Eden's dawn to Egypt's night, God held his people in his sight. Through flood and famine, sin and strife, he wrote redemption into life. For love remembers when age is bend, and God stays faithful to the end. Through every chapter, dark or bright, he carries promise into light. From Joseph's hope to Israel's cry, his covenant stands and does not die. This is a story of endings and grace, and the God who reigns over time and place.
I'm lifting up my hands today, got a smile I can't contain. Every breath and every beat is dancing to his holy name. You fill my cup, it's running over, spilling out onto the floor. I can't keep this blessing hidden, I've got to give you more and more. I didn't earn this golden ticket, it's a gift that came for free. When I open up my mouth to shout, it's his spirit moving me. I'm pointing every finger upward, sending glory to the King. I'm just the happy microphone, amplifying everything. It's not mine to keep inside, it's a joy I cannot hide. This amazing grace I carry is meant to spread out far and wide. I'm a courier of kindness, running fast to spread the word to everyone who's ready, to the happiest truth you've heard. Every cheer and every praise goes right back to the ancient of days. It's not mine to keep, I'm just so blessed to know his ways. He gave the song to me so I could give the song to you. Look at what the Father
Father did. Look at what his love can do, what he lit inside my heart.